Since 1939, Wix Filters has been an innovator in refrigeration products. Wix designs, manufactures, and distributes filters for automotive, diesel, agriculture, industrial, and more. Quality is built into the whole line of Wix products, including oil, air, cabin air, fuel, coolant, and transmission filters for automobiles, trucks, and all-road equipment. Wix is dedicated to keeping engines running, and Wix has joined us here at the State Fair down by our merchandise tent. Our merchandise tent with all sorts of t-shirts and long-sleeve shirts and hats and koozies, earbuds and earplugs, which you're going to want here in a little bit, especially for the younger crowd. Inside our merchandise tent, you'll see Wix Filter signs. Go down there and play Plinko with the Wix Filters group. They're going to give out a bunch of cool prizes. They're going to be walking throughout the crowd as we go today, handing out stuff. Right beside the Wix Filters is Full Pool Live. Full Pool Live, bringing you live coverage of the North Carolina State Fair for all 4 sessions, beginning last night, being broadcast on the World Wide Web through Full Pool Live and FullPoolPigs.com. Go to that site and you can get $20 in your account just for signing up today at Full Pool Pigs. We've got 2 tractors left to come across the scales. We'll be set and ready to go. You see our officials laying the track out as they go. You'll see the foot markers as you go along. The very first 100 foot out. If the competitor is not under power at the 100-foot mark, he can have the option of backing up one time and rehook it to the sled. But that second pull, whether he pulls 5 feet or 500 feet, that's what's going to count for him. So the first time they do have the 100-foot option. The second time, there's no other option. The first puller in each class can turn down that run if they're not satisfied with it, and the officials can change the sled as well. So the first puller in each class will have the option of carrying or turning down that pull and drop it to the end of the class. Now that's tough on their equipment because they have to run twice in a short amount of time, but they do have that option to make it happen if they so choose. You see our competitors out there with their probes. They're probing the track, checking for moisture, checking for density, checking the dirt. They are professional dirt people. They can tell you all about red clay and sand and rocks and everything about dirt you never know you needed to know. That's what they're doing out there with their probes right now, is seeing which side of the track is best. Another thing each competitor is able to do is to set the sled on each side of the track as they go along. If they think the left side's better, they can sit it over there. If they think the right side's better, they can put it on that side. If they think the center's going to be the way to go, that's what they're going to do. So you'll see a cone at the end of the track. I'll point that out to you further as we go along. And the competitors will move that cone to tell the sled operator exactly where they want it. Once the sled gets out here, it has a weight box on it that moves up towards the hook point on the tractors or trucks. As that box moves forward, there's a big pan on the bottom of that sled that lays down across the center part of the sled. And once it gets full tilt to the end of the sled, that pan will dig into the ground even farther. And the sled operator typically will always win. Regardless, he will stop that machine one way or the other. He has a kill switch on the sled as well. If something gets out of control and out of whack, he pulls the kill switch, which kills complete power to the puller itself.
May I have your attention, please?
Sure, go ahead.
April Jackson, please come to the expo building to pick up a lost item. April Jackson, please come to the expo building to pick up a lost item.
So again, 2 more tractors to get across the sled. We'll be ready to rock and roll. We're going to start out with our heavy super stock tractors, which are incredible pieces of machinery in themselves. Our super stock tractors are also running for points, this being the last points poll of the year, and they are separated by 1 point between the top two. 1 point. While you're waiting, be sure to go down to our friends at Wix Filters, play Plinko. We need some prizes. We're going to be handing out stuff throughout the day in the crowd. We've got hats from shopangryduck.com, who's the major sponsor for us. Anytime you need a design, a crew shirt, check our friends at shopangryduck.com. If you see a tractor out here you really like, chances are Shop Angry Duck has got a t-shirt, hat, hoodie, something of that nature that you can get a hold of, and they'll ship it directly to your door at shopangryduck.com. And then there was one. We're almost there, folks. Hang on.
Hopefully, have a stop for like 3 weeks.
This is the North Carolina Education Lottery booth located near Dorton Arena to play all of the latest online and instant games. You can also participate in the buy, spin, and win promotion for your chance to win fun prizes. Must be 18 to play.
towards the back of the sled right now with the shop anchor ductile graphic on it. That box will move forward as the sled progresses. The sled operator can change gears to make that box go faster or slower. When that box gets almost to the center of the sled, it will drop that big pan down on the ground. And then as the box continues to move forward, gets all the way up front, it's going to get another switch. And it's going to dig that pan even further in the ground. If you look up under there, you'll see some extra, about 3-inch wide plates on the bottom of that sled to dig it into the ground. The back end of the sled will come all the way up off the ground. The back tires will be turning freely. And it will put a stop to each and every vehicle as they come through. Father and son sled operation here for the United Pullers. Travel the Carolinas and Virginia with us year to year. Mr. Eric getting everything set just right for our sled. And you see the orange cone down there now. Our first competitor is setting the orange cone out exactly where he wants that sled to back up to. It looks like he's a little bit left of center. But we will see how that progresses throughout the day.
You get the scale working?
We are bringing 4 tractor classes and 1 four-wheel drive truck class to you this afternoon.
May as well be a time. There we go. Randy to pull around. We'll be ready to go.
Hi, Douglas. Hello. Have a great show.
Our colors today brought to you by the Person High School Junior ROTC out of Roxborough, North Carolina. We welcome Kayvonnie Franklin, Kyra Brandon, Jalen Jones, and Albie and Jay. Is that right? Albie and Jay. Thank you folks so much. A, for being a part of the Junior ROTC, and B, for joining us here at the United Pullers Southern Showdown at the North Carolina State Fair. Folks, if I can get you to please rise if you're able. Gentlemen, if you'll remove your hats, we will get underway and ready to go tractor pulling. By first giving thanks to the good Lord above, Father, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you provide for us, for protecting us and guiding us and showing us the proper way to handle ourselves and our business. If we will follow you, all will be well. We ask that you protect every person on these grounds, every official, every spectator, every driver. Please wrap your angel wings around them and protect them throughout the day as we go. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to do the sport that we love so much that we call tractor pulling. Father, we thank you. Whatever we do, may it bring honor and glory to your name. And all of God's people said, Thank you. If you will, please remain standing. One of our competitors, Mr. Beasley, is going to sing our national anthem of the United States of America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? For the ramparts we won were so gallantly true, and the rocket's red glare of bursting air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you for the great job. Give a big hand to the round of Treasury family. We're making our treasure full. We're ready to roll out all Disney smoke. We start out with our heavy super suckers.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Full Pull Live. Dan Mayer, joined by special guests. We got Mary Kale this afternoon here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're here for the North Carolina State Fair, session number 2. Mary, we saw you pull last night in the mini class. You'll be pulling again tonight.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us here this afternoon.
Well, thanks for having me.
Always good to have a fellow former New Yorker back
Yeah.
here in the Full Pull Live studios here. We've got 4 classes this afternoon. Going to kick things off here with the Super Stock class will be first. We'll have the Super Farms, the 4-wheel drives, and we will conclude with the Pro Farm tractors this afternoon. Will be our final class of competition here. And, well, Mary, you were on the track last night. Tell us about it.
It was a good track.
Real good track last
real
night?
Good track. Yep.
Now, we got a little bit of a late start here this afternoon. They were working on it into the morning here. Didn't have any rain, but they just wanted to make sure there was enough moisture in it.
Yeah.
And they didn't think that they had enough in there, so they kind of reworked things up. And consistent? I mean, did we see, pretty consistent track out there?
Oh,
or?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a little dusty on the top. I mean, we were throwing, the minis were throwing a bit of dirt, but I think that's why they wanted to get some more water into it.
All right, so as we see our first Super Stock firing up here, as it looks like we're going to have Andy Dutton here, Anderson, South Carolina, with the junk wagon. John Deere is going to get us rolling here. So here in Super Stock competition here, we're going to see a mix of alcohol tractors. We've got a couple diesel tractors as well. Should be a good class here, running for Region 4 points. And, well, when we talk about Region 4 points, Mary, we got to talk about, you're right in the mix of this whole deal, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. This will be the second year, so.
Well, there you go. Yeah, we talked about the big, Enderley win last night. We were talking about that. 2023 had the big Enderley win. And then last night, I think after last night, you're 5 points ahead here in the Region 4?
I believe so, yeah.
So, got a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah,
don't want to jinx anything. But
Alan had a beautiful pass last night. I mean, out of all the tractors in the class, I think his pass was the prettiest.
Yeah, that was a great class to watch. Hope you
was.
fans had the opportunity to watch Session 1 with us last night, this mini class. Was there a lot of damage? Is there going to be some vehicles not going to be able to make it back? Or is
From
everybody...
what I understand, the disaster guys, we loaned them a tire and a burst panel.
Okay.
And they checked everything out. They put the burst panel on the one, and they had the front end all straightened out to get the tire on the other. So I think they're both going to be back.
Okay.
I don't think Kevin Hill was leaking oil, but he didn't know from where.
Okay.
I saw that he had it out. I didn't have a chance to talk to him. So hopefully he makes it tonight.
Okay.
But I think everybody else is
Oh,
in
that's
shape.
good. All right. Yeah, hopefully we have everybody coming on back, and always hate to see somebody, all the way down here in North Carolina have some issues and not be able to come on back and run the rest of the weekend here.
Yeah, neither one of those teams are local at all.
Yes.
They come farther than we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and thought you were a long toe down here.
Yeah.
But, Wisconsin and Vermont are not the closest to Raleigh, North Carolina. But, hey, the ladies got the job done last night. So you got to continue that streak here again tonight.
Yep.
As great class, of course, the two-wheel drives and the minis. The ladies finishing out on top here. And what a great pull this is down here in Raleigh, North Carolina. How many years have you guys been coming down for this one?
Oh, boy, I think since we started, because we came with Irv Clark. He hauled us in his hauler the first time we were here, so it was probably 2016, 2017, right around in there.
As looks like we're having a little bit of issue here with our first tractor. Yeah, they're telling us he's going to drop here.
Oh.
So Andy Dutton having a little issue with the junk wagon John Deere. Not sure what the deal is. Obviously, you can't get the tractor fired up. Now, this tractor here, Robbie Crutchfield, the guy that ran super stocks for a lot of years down here in North Carolina, has some involvement there with the motor program on this tractor. So Andy is going to drop here and take a mechanical drop here in our super stocks. So really not the way we wanted to start the afternoon program here.
No.
Here at the North Carolina State Fair, but weather has just been absolutely perfect here this weekend. I know a lot of times, last time I was here in Raleigh and 20-some years ago, we had one of the days that was not too great and rained out, but here this weekend, they're calling for sun all 3 days here.
Yes, and the rest of the week. I mean, as far as you can see in the forecast, they're going to have a great fair week.
Yeah, it's in one of the busiest fairs. I know, we both come out of Western New York, the Erie County Fair, where they had, I think 1 million people at one point came through the gates. And they were saying they've got over 1 million people in their 11-day run down here for the State Fair here in Raleigh, that they get over 1 million people. So it's just crazy, the wall-to-wall mass hysteria if you walk out in this fair. But what a great fair. I mean, it's just a little bit of everything, and I think it just every year they just do something different and get bigger and bigger. And,
well, agriculture is bigger in this state than some people realize.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and, Raleigh being, more or less the, where all the business and everything is, right centered around here. But, very, once you get on the outskirts, you go pretty quick to the agriculture, as we see another outlaw making its way out on the track. It's going to be Chris Hales out of Autryville, North Carolina, the another outlaw. Now, Chris is going to be doing double duty this afternoon. He's also got a super farm tractor he's going to run a little bit later on, as this is going to be our first look at a diesel. We were supposed to look at an Alki, but did not get that tractor fired up here, so we're going to move ahead here. Chris Hales will be our first puller out on the track here, going to be our test puller here this afternoon in our 8,000-pound super stock class. These tractors, we're going to see a mix. We've got super stock overhead cam engines here. We've got 650 cubic inches, just a mix of all different types of tractors out here in our super stock class here this afternoon. Good looking International 1486 here, as Chris will make his way back to the starting line here. And looks like early on here we're going to favor that left of center spot on the track. That seemed to be pretty popular last night, we saw.
Yep. I was closer to the other side, and there was a few behind me that followed that line for a while.
The minis kind of spread it out, didn't they? We saw the light pros early in the evening. They were all working this left side, and then you guys all worked over to the right side there. But what an excellent show we saw last night. And once again, 6 o'clock tonight.
Yep.
We'll do it again. We'll have 4 classes in competition. Won't run the modifieds tonight. They'll run the modifieds tomorrow afternoon, part of the afternoon program. So it looks like we've got another outlaw ready to go here, as we'll get the 8,000-pound super stock class underway. We'll run the super farms next. We'll run the 4-wheel drive trucks number 3 this afternoon, and then the pro farms will be our final class of the afternoon here in Raleigh. As you can see, Chris just cinching those belts down as he gets ready to make his run here.
That's very important. If you're not buckled in tight, it's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. You go for a wild ride.
I mean, I've seen people get knocked out from hitting their head on the cage. That's scary stuff.
All right, so slack out of the chain as we are ready to go here this afternoon here in Raleigh for session number 2 here at the North Carolina State Fair.
Oh.
All right, real nice run to get us started here this afternoon. As another outlaw, Chris Hales, and boy, what a great crowd we got this afternoon. For an afternoon show here in Raleigh, they have come out to watch. And
there's a lot of fans down here. Lumberton was packed with people, too.
Yeah, Lumberton, just about east of here from the Raleigh area. As Chris Hales, our test puller here this afternoon with his another outlaw here. We'll get the distance in here. We got the laser crew set up down there. And we will measure up to 1,000th of a foot here this afternoon if we do have to. So now what do you think? As a test puller, everything looked pretty good on that track. Do you think he would go ahead and take that run?
He probably will. I don't know if he hit the brake or it naturally came that way or not. If he touched the brake, he may want to drop, but if you don't have to do anything like
usually
that.
You run it through your head and say, hey, I didn't have to do this, or this. We're going to go ahead and go with it. And yes, so word from trackside is he is going to go and take that run here this afternoon. Yep. So we'll get the distance in here for Chris Hales with the another outlaw tractor.
I think they're running floating finish, so that's good that they can feel comfortable with that distance.
Yeah, don't have to worry about making a pull off. That, so there we'll see the distance comes in. Yeah, that's a good one, 308.07.
Yeah.
Here early on in our super stock class here this afternoon, 308.07.
They landed us last night. That's where they landed a lot of the minis too, between 308, 303.
That's right. We did stack them up. I think we had 3.5 inches or 3 1/4 inches or something was the distance. Our math statistician John Dunlap was watching last night. Yeah, he was figuring that out for us. So as we see Dave Everman making his way to the starting line here. Dave out of Dansville, New York, part of that Everman pulling team. We saw Mom pull last night with the wild hair. Mom Sharon was out there. Dave, been a champion in Western New York with the Empire State Pullers over the years. Back when he ran a diesel tractor, switched on over to the alcohol. Now it's been quite a few years now that he has done so. As you see the sticker on the side there, we mean business. Of course, Dave's had some success down here in Raleigh. As a matter of fact, Saturday afternoon 1 year ago, he was our winner. And looking to follow that up here this afternoon, see if he can get the job done. Now, by the luck of the draw, Dave's going to hook number 2 in our class, and Dan Henry will be just a couple behind him here. So the alcohol tractor here out of Western New York, Dansville, New York, just south of the Rochester area. Now move that sled way over here to the right side.
Yeah, so the option to run alcohol and or diesel, but you have to follow the rules for that particular fuel type, right? But we've got an alcohol tractor here that's going to run at a much cooler level than the diesel guys will, but there are advantages and disadvantages.
Ooh.
Oh, man, tough break there for Dave. Overruled tractor, Case International MX Series.
That's too bad.
Yeah, issues right past that, just shy of that 200-foot mark. As we've got Bert down trackside, and he's got an update here on Andy Dutton's tractor.
I understand. Yes, sir. I got you. So that is an International Harvester Case tractor. Just wrapped up with a beautiful artwork and overruled. Having some issues.
Testing 1 2.
But I bet you he will get it fired.
So what happened here? Andy Dutton, they were gearing to go out on the track, and it wouldn't go in forward or reverse. So they made an adjustment to the reverser. But now he still doesn't have reverse, and under competition rules, he must be able to drive out on the track and back to the sled. So they're still working on it. We're going to see what happens, but right now it's not looking too good for Andy on the junk wagon. Back to you guys.
Yeah, man, that would be a tough break there if he wasn't able to make it out on the track here. But they're going to work on it. They've got a little bit of time here. We've got, looks like 8 tractors in this lineup here. So not a whole lot of time to get that problem resolved. But hate to see any competitor, come down here and have issues there. So
you head for the line, you think you're ready.
Yeah, just like that.
You're positive you're ready. And then like that, you're not ready.
I just got rid of the wife.
So we'll take Dave Everman off the track here after his run here this afternoon, and he's kind of shaking his head there as he makes his way off the track. So 170 and 83 here for Dave Everman, 170.83 the distance.
How many tractors are in the class?
Total of 8.
Total of 8.
Got a total of 8.
He'll still end up with a little prize money. They pay 12, am I correct?
Oh, so there you go. Be able to, here we take a look at Dad, Henry Everman with the forced decision. He's sitting up inside the cage there. He's going to be ready to go here in just a couple tractors. We should have Holt Strickland up next here with the Galat 2 entry, and then Henry Everman's forced decision, and then John Strickland with the Galat light tractor. And by the looks of things, looks like we're going to skip ahead here and go with Henry, as we were supposed to have Holt here in the lineup. So we'll get an update here and see for sure what the deal is from trackside. So yeah, Henry going to make his way out on the track here. Of course, we just saw his son Dave out on the track with his overruled tractor. This is the forced decision machine. Tractor built up in the Blackburn stables years ago, and the name on the side of it, well, he said, you know, the alcohol tractors for so many years giving him a hard time there in Western New York. He said they forced me to do it, and that was build an alcohol tractor. And Henry for so many years ran the diesel tractor as well, the final decision, and that one finally went down the road. Kind of said he's slowing down a little bit, he says. Don't have to work on it as much, so let the diesel go down the road, but still has a lot of fun. Do a lot of pulling here with this forced decision tractor. They go both sides of the state of New York with the Empire State pullers as well as the New York tractor pullers throughout the summer months. And Henry, another guy that has been coming down here to Raleigh for quite a few years, running here at the North Carolina State Fair. So right now our mark to beat in this class, 308.07. 308.07. Chris Hales with the Another Outlaw leads the way here.
Yeah, that's right about where the track, you know, you can get out there beyond 310, 315. After that, you're running out of track fast. It's not a super long track.
Hoping to get further than 170 feet.
Okay, so we take a look here, and Henry Everman here running in position number 3 here. So we're going to move ahead here, Holt Strickland in our lineup as we get ready to go. Forced decision, 3 turbochargers underneath the hood of this tractor. 504 cubic inches. That's the rules they run back in New York State.
We got green lights and green flags. We got white smoke, but we got a case I out of New York. There we go.
I think he hit the line.
Yeah, boy, that tractor shot over to that left-hand sideline.
He is disqualified, and he knew he was close, if not over.
We'll have to wait and see here, but tough break there for Henry. Really had the tractor hooked up.
Yep, and when they're hooked good, you can slam on that brake all you want, and it's not going to correct.
Yeah, you get to a certain point, right? You get that momentum going, and it's like you can do anything you want, but it just doesn't want to come back around for you.
No, Lindsay and I were talking about that last night, because the two of us haven't been running for that long compared to some of these guys that have lifetime experience.
Right.
And she said her focus this year was just the same as mine, is to correct. If you have to use the brake to correct, do it early in the run when you can correct.
You can correct before you get that. I think we were talking to Holt Strickland about that last night. He says, you know, you get so far down the track, you got momentum going. He says you could try pushing on that brake, but it just
nothing.
it's going to go where it wants to go.
Exactly. You're just hooked so hard to the track. But you know, the rule of thumb is every time you hit the brake, you're going to lose 10 feet.
Right.
So you sit there with that in your head saying, I don't want to touch it yet. Maybe it'll correct on its own. And then you're beyond the point of no return.
You're right, yep. And then before you know it, you're up on the white line. And, of course, you touch that white line, disqualified, and down to the bottom you go. So we'll take Henry Everman off the track here. He'll have another shot at it tomorrow. The Super Stocks will be running tomorrow afternoon. Once again for the Region 4 points here on the NTPA circuit. The Region 4 circuit brought to you by Pro Pulling Tire for 2024, the sponsor for this class.
Yes.
Or I should say for this, for this whole, the Region 4 circuit here.
Yes, correct. All of us.
Pigs girls are coming now.
Okay, so they tell us that Holt Strickland going to be a scratch here this afternoon in our super stock class. So not sure what the issue is there as we see Dad John. He's up on his light tractor. So 278.40 for Henry Everman. He did keep it in bounds.
Oh, okay. Good for him.
So 278.40, but you can see light on the nose there.
Yeah.
And he was steering it and hitting that brake for all it was worth. But
yeah, if he wouldn't have got out of it when he did, he would have been out.
Yeah, it was just heading in that direction there. So
there was a lot of skill keeping that in.
Keeping it, yeah.
Years of experience.
Be neat to see the head-on shot there, how close he actually was. So that'll put Henry in the number 2 spot there, 278.40. As once again, Chris Hales leads the way here Saturday afternoon here in Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina State Fair. Now, last night, Holt and I were talking about how many times we saw Jeff Hurt on screen. And you can see he's walking around with the cone down there right now. So, of course, Jeff's going to be in this class as well a little bit later on in the field here. As we see John Strickland firing up their brand new tractor. Debuted it this year out on the circuit. This is their light tractor. John out of Harrells, North Carolina. As we mentioned earlier, son Holt was supposed to pilot the Galot 2 tractor and having an issue with that one. So we'll have to get on the spot and see what the issue was with that tractor.
He's had some rough luck lately, as many as out of commission right now, too.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, too. And
very.
You know, Holt had a great summer. You know, we talked about, he climbed his way into the top 10, and then we made it to Bowling Green, and then I said something about it, and I jinxed him for the rest of the year there. I told him that next year we won't do that.
Sometimes that happens. You can't do anything wrong.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it just like nothing. He said everything turned around and flopped over, and it was like, well. So John Strickland backing up here the Galot tractor. Brand new light machine they built here during the off season. Finished up number 14 on the light super stock Grand National points with this tractor. John himself a 4-time national champion with the NTPA circuit. Started in Super Farms years ago, and well, he's driven drag cars. We talked about the Pro Mods they used to run there, and you can see GMS on the front of that tractor. There's Brent Payne's company there just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. Do a lot of work on these, well, all kinds of pulling vehicles over there at GMS. So let's see.
Look where he's lined up.
Oh, yeah, he's way up against that left chalk line here.
After what happened to Henry, I wouldn't have started there.
So maybe he's looking to drive it a little towards the middle part here.
Maybe. Well, that's what that other international did. He came cross-track. Maybe that's his plan.
Oh, man.
Well, he gets second chance.
Yeah, we heard the pop there. Not sure, yeah. Well, not a good start here for the super stock class here this afternoon here in session number 2 here in Raleigh. As we heard the pop come off the start line there. AGCO DT 225. So they are going to look things over here, and they're talking. They're going to possibly drop
him
here.
Up. Okay. Holt's checking for something.
Yeah, Holt's looking in the front there. Tractor's still running, so that's always a good sign. So we'll see if he's going to go right back at the sled here, or he's going to drop in this class. Everybody kind of peering in, looking to see if they can see anything here.
There's nothing worse than making the damage worse by not taking the time to check.
There we get a good look at that red clay down here in North Carolina.
It really is red. It's interesting dirt, though. It's it makes a great track.
Mr. John Strickland, here we go.
And looks like having a little bit of trouble getting it going here.
How many times has he run this new one?
This has been the summer. So Brent Payne had driven it a lot during the summer here and seen John in the seat a couple times. But they're looking at running the whole Grand National circuit with this light tractor next year.
Oh, nice.
As they kind of dabbled this year a little bit, but yeah, but he's taking the belts off, so yeah, they're gonna have to drop here.
Hope they can.
Yeah, that'd be a tough break here. Of course, Holt had to scratch with the Galat 2 tractor, so I think right now they're just kind of throwing their hands up in the air here.
Yeah.
So we see 2.25 officially will be the distance here for John Strickland, 2.25.
So there is no coming back. Well, that's too bad.
So we'll take the Galat light tractor off the track here. And yeah, we talked about, this red clay down here in Raleigh, but, all different places you go. That's one unique thing about the sport is, the track is made up of the dirt that's in that particular area.
Yes.
You go up to Hutchinson, Minnesota, you get that real dark, Farley's got the same, that dark clay, and, just it's pretty neat, and you guys keep a record as far as, the tracks that you go to and say, okay, it's this type, or do you kind of go, like, say, for instance, like, okay, we go to track A, and this is kind of like track C kind of deal? Is that how you guys? Okay.
Yes. And the tracks, like, Raleigh is always what Raleigh is. Arcola is always what Arcola is. So he keeps specific notes on the specific tracks, too, of the setup. But, you do compare the dirts from places. If you've never been there before.
That's what I was going to say. You roll into a place you've never been before. You take a look at it and say, well, this kind of looks like so-and-so or whatever. And okay.
Then he's thumbing through his Bible to find out what's similar in dirt type, and then that kind of determines your setup.
Well, speaking of Jeff Hurt, we got Mr. Excitement rolling out on the track right now. The 903 Cummins powered Run & Bear tractor, 7-time national champion. As he makes his way on the track, running both his minis last night. And now we see him making his way on the track here with his super stock tractor. And Jeff gonna park it up there in the left-hand corner once again here.
And the way he's backing up, it looks like he wants to cross-track it.
He's going to try to drive it across here.
That's what it looks like.
Well, we saw him just a little bit ago. He was walking around with the cone, so that's where he ended up. Every competitor has that option where you put that sled between the white lines down there. As you see our leader right now, 308.07, Chris Hales, with the Another Outlaw tractor from right here in North Carolina. Jeff Hurt out of Port Clinton, Ohio. Right along Lake Erie there, just west of the Sandusky, Cedar Point area.
That's nice country up there. A lot of fruit farms because of the lake. I think he grows some sort of grain, doesn't he?
Yeah. They got, and then of course they got the tractor business up there. Dad Bill. So here we go. Jeff Hurt ready to roll here this afternoon. The Run & Bear out of Ohio. Get ready for Mr. Excitement.
Oh, no.
Man, turning some RPM with that tractor this afternoon. Wow.
Something's going on.
Yeah, he didn't want to get out of it, that's for sure. He says, hey, we're going to give it everything we got here.
Yeah.
So Jeff Hurt, we'll see. Was it enough? 308.07 is what he had to beat. Really kind of can't tell from that angle right there how far down the track he is.
It's hard to tell. But there was a couple times he spit and sputtered. Right there was one of them.
So 278.97. 278.97 for Jeff Hurt. And just by a little bit. That will put him into the number 2 spot here this afternoon. As right now, Chris Hale sitting pretty good. 308.07, the diesel tractor. Holding off these alcohol tractors here so far. As we've still got, we've got Marty Hale up next with the Pure Country tractor, and then Andy Dutton, if he can come back with the John Deere. As take a look at that beautiful looking Kubota tractor.
It is. That's new, isn't it?
Yeah, Marty for many years had run the Massey Ferguson sheet metal on the tractor, and the business back there that over there in Elm City, North Carolina, they sell Kubotas and they sell Massey Fergusons over there, and Kubota sent him a hood and said, hey, can you put this on the tractor? So they went ahead and converted over to a Kubota. So we've got the first Kubota Super Stock I think I've ever seen. The M8201 here, Marty Harrell. So he will be our next tractor up here. So Chris Hales leads the way here at 308.07 Super Stock class here this afternoon. The Another Outlaw. See Jeff Hurt just took over that number 2 spot at 278.97 with the Running Bear, and then we'll put Henry Everman number 3 at 278.40 here.
That's correct. That is correct. But with the Kubota out on
So just like that, we're just about to the end of our Super Stock class here. First hook for this class, for this division here this weekend. Something nice about the pull here in Raleigh, each class gets 2 hooks. And they used to do years ago where, like 1 or 2 of the classes would get 3 hooks through the weekend, and then they kind of cut that back a little bit and gave everybody just 2 hooks.
When you have to drive this far, getting 2 hooks makes it worth the drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't drive all the way down here for 1 hook. I mean, that just
probably not.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Although now we're both retired, so we've got the time to.
Oh, so there you go. Yeah, you could make a trip out of it.
Yes, come and visit some friends and do some touring around the area.
And speaking of touring, we've got to talk about the big European trip here. We'll talk about that in just a little bit here after we run Marty Harrell. Mary had the opportunity this afternoon. Is once again, fans, those joining us on Facebook and YouTube, we are going to say goodbye to you folks, and for $39.99, get the rest of this weekend's pulling action here in Raleigh, North Carolina at the North Carolina State Fair. And then next weekend we'll be down in Lufkin, Texas for the Outlaw Finals down there just north of Houston. Got Diesels and Dark Corners coming up, and then the big pull out there in California will conclude the season on Full Pull Live. So once again, those folks watching on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to cut things off after this tractor runs here. And remember to join Full Pull Live.
Well, the subscription is definitely worth it. All the pulling you get to see. And if you can't see it live, you can always go back there and look at it again.
Yeah, Mary, I think we're going to move that flag.
I think so.
What a run for the Kubota. The crowd is going crazy here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Marty Harrell, wow, what a run. As he picked him up and laid him down here this afternoon. As we'll wait on the distance here for him. See Robbie Crutchfield down there. Also got a hand in working on this tractor as well. But what a run here in the Super Stock class. That was the run we were looking for. We've had some issues here with some tractors, but yeah, it's always good to see a tractor make an outstanding pass like that. See the 3 turbocharger setup, very popular in the Super Stock class. Most of the tractors have gone with that 3 turbo setup. Even got those turbos painted out there so you could lift the hood. Looking good.
All right, let's do this.
It takes a lot of work to keep that all looking good.
Thank you. Great job. Thank you. Yes, great job.
Yeah, a lot of elbow grease, right?
Yeah,
Keep everything looking good. Of course, one great thing about the sport of pulling, a lot of open pit areas, so a lot of people coming on through and getting autographs, taking pictures.
Yeah, we love it when they let that. There's a few places where they don't. I think it's because of insurance. They can't let the public in the
Which
pits.
is a shame.
It is a shame.
I wish that every pull would be able to have an open pit because, like you say, it's great to talk to the fans and.
We've met a lot of great people. We always put the kids in the seat, take pictures. The kids love it. Autograph the cards. Then at least they got something to, they sit up in the stands and look for those tractors that they went to visit.
And what's great about Full Pull Live, too, is, you're able to see vehicles you don't normally get to see. And then when you do go see them.
Yes.
So there it is, 346 and 37.
Wow.
What a great run there for Marty Harrell.
Absolutely.
So he will take over the number 1 spot here. So, Mary, earlier this year, you had the opportunity. You and Hans Boxler Jr. had the opportunity to go over to the Netherlands.
We did.
Tell us about it.
It was a fantastic opportunity. We couldn't say no. We had gone with Joe Ader when he did Ahoy, which they don't do anymore. That was an indoor.
And I kicked myself because I had the opportunity to go, and we just had things going on, and I'm like, and now they don't do it.
No,
but
they don't. But when he invited us to come along, we were all in. And it was fast-paced, 5 days, boom, 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 and we were back home. It was we didn't get to see a lot. So Mada, the one that we were invited to, is the biggest outdoor pull in Europe. So it's the European version of Bowling Green, but they have 3 tracks.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's a little bigger. And the dirt is way different. It's almost like peat because they're on the coast.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the Netherlands would actually be underwater if they didn't have all of the ditches and those windmills. A lot of those windmills are for pumping water to keep the place from flooding. But the people were amazing. They treated us like kings. And meeting the other pullers, we watch a lot of the European, since we went with Joe, we've been watching a lot of the European hooks, and all of the drivers came to meet us and say hello, and I mean, they're just great people. It was a great time.
Now, one interesting thing you were telling me was where that event is held, it's in a big farm field.
Yes.
And everything for that pull they bring in.
Yes.
There is not like a week later you couldn't
It's
even tell there
back
was
to
a
a
tractor
field.
pull. Yeah,
Eric's cows are back out there grazing again.
And you go with the track and. Okay. All right, so they tell us that Andy Dutton will not be coming back here, so that will be the finish here for the Super Stock class here this afternoon. So Marty Harrell, Pure Country, will take the big win here, 3:46 and 37. Great run for Chris Hales in that number 2 spot with the Another Outlaw. Jeff Hurt will finish up in the number 3 spot with the Run and Bear. Henry Everman, number 4 with Forced Decision, and then we'll have Overruled, and Dave Everman will fill out the top 5. It looks like we've got Bert down there trackside with our winner.
Greensboro, North Carolina. Are you coming back tonight?
Marty,
Yes, sir.
346 feet. That's the first official pass with those new cylinder heads. Congratulations. You're the winner here today.
Yeah, I had to stay on the brake all the way down the track just about. It was trying everything it could because this track's notorious for going right. And I finally got the tractor to turn towards the left-hand side of the track, and I just let it go then. And the box hit me and actually give me a boost because I thought I was going to run out of ump, but I had changed to the lowest gear I had in the gearbox. Right there, we decided at the start because we thought the track was just biting so hard that we won't be able to get it. And the front end got pretty high, too. So,
well, with that first official run under your belt, you got any big plans for tomorrow, or just make sure everything's right and ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, fixed the piece we broke on the exhaust manifold on the other side. Crutchfield Machines over there looking at it now. We're carrying it home. But we should be back tomorrow unless we see something funky in a filter or something.
Congratulations, Marty Harrell. First ever victory with those new cylinder heads and that Capote sheet metal.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Robbie Crutchfield, I'm going to give the seat up to him tomorrow. He's wanting to get some of that motor, too, so I'm going to let him run it tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Marty.
Thank you, Bert. More about that shop than I do at this point.
All right, so Robbie Crutchfield going to do the driving of that tractor. So we saw Kubota win here this afternoon. Once again, Dan Mayer joined with Mary Kale here this afternoon, driver of the spending their Heritage tractor. Where did you come up with the name for that tractor? I mean, there's got every vehicle's got a name where they came up with it.
Yes.
And how did you just all of a sudden one day, hey, this is what we're going to call it?
My husband and son went out we bought Rick Peters' rolling chassis in 2016, and they drove out to Rick's to get it. He's out in Ohio also. And I guess on the way back, they talked about it and thought about it, and it comes home and it's sitting in the middle of the shop, just a rolling chassis. It isn't even, it isn't anything yet. And Mike's sitting there, we're just, talking about it, trying to think what we're going to name it. Over a little bit of a cocktail, and he started drawing on a piece of paper. And he goes, okay. Now he says, what about this? He says, tractor with the wheels off the ground, sucking the money out of the bank and blowing it off the tires, and the kids chasing it. He says, we'll call it spending their inheritance. I said, okay, that's a good idea. It's a little wordy, but it works.
But it works. Yeah, absolutely. That a great name.
Yeah.
You know, great name for that tractor is we bring out Caitlin McDonald here with the Red Mule as we start the 9,300-pound Super Farm class here this afternoon. And once again, a great field of Super Farms here in North Carolina. We saw with their Light Pro class, very popular down here. The Super Farms can run pretty much with anybody in the country here. And we have seen that from time to time. So Caitlin McDonald going to get us rolling here as our test puller. As she will have the option here. The ladies, let's see, here we go.
Maybe she can take the class. There's a few ladies out there today. One of the Beasleys, I believe.
Light pros. They'll be out. Yep, they'll be out a little bit later tonight.
I saw her in a fire suit, so she must be driving.
So we got the Red Mule tractor that's been around quite a few years here in the North Carolina area. Red Springs here with the Red Mule. Yeah, the ladies are behind her this afternoon as we hear the roar from the grandstand behind us here. As Caitlin McDonald, boy, that was a perfect run. I mean, from a straight-on shot there, it looked like she had the weight just about perfect out there. Super Farm tractor, 640 cubic inches. You'll notice the 24.5-inch wide rear tires, a little bit smaller than their big cousins, the Super Stocks. They'll run one single turbocharger, 3 inches in, 3 inches out. And when it's all said and done, right around 1,700 horsepower they're making out of these tractors. But one thing that we see with Super Farms, they are close.
Yes.
Everywhere that they run, they will stack them up here. So,
yes.
So Mary, we talked about where the name came from, the spending their inheritance. But I also like the story about how you became the full-time driver of this tractor. Now, let's set the stage. I think it was Memphis 2018.
Yes.
We were down there for a PPL pull.
Yes.
And you guys made the maiden voyage.
With Irv Clark.
So, yeah, and then tell us about it.
Well, we didn't know. The plan was we'd get it all figured out. Maybe I would drive in the second season or toward the end of the first season. We were kind of agreed that we would both drive, but I wanted him to figure it out and then coach me a little bit. So we went to Memphis. He and Irv went over to the scales to weigh in. And apparently he was close on weight with him in the seat and not much weight on the front, which you got to have some weight in that box or it's a wild ride. It's not good. So he came back and he said to me, he said, did you bring all of your equipment? I said, I did. And he says, well, you're going to be driving because I'm not playing this craziness with the weights. I wanted too light in the front. So I ended up in the seat.
So just like that, it became, you are now the full-time driver within, I remember that afternoon, it was like, okay, Mary is now the driver of the spending their inheritance tractor. So,
meanwhile, the whole tractor's set up for him. There's a little difference in size.
And, you know, Mike's a big guy, so, you know, that will actually, it looks like we got Caitlin down trackside here with Bert.
Caitlin, you had one heck of a run there. 326 feet and some change. Do you think it's going to hold up with all the vehicles back there in the back?
I'm not sure. There's some pretty good vehicles still left to go.
So you're actually pulling against your cousin. He's going to be coming up later on the bad boy. You think you're going to beat him here today?
I try. We'll see. He's last, so he gets to bring it up in the end.
Well, good luck to you, Caitlin. We're going to go back to pulling action.
All right, so Caitlin McDonald will set the mark here in our Super Farm class as we'll back in. Well, we saw this gentleman just one class ago with his another Outlaw. Now it's time for his Super Farm tractor, as this is Chris Hales with the Outlaw tractor. This is his original, the 966 International here, coming off a number 2 finish in our Super Stock class, just one class ago here. Now currently leads Region 4 here in the points. 2 wins on the season, both at Lumberton, North Carolina. And also swept the competition here in Raleigh 1 year ago. So very tough running tractor right here, the Outlaw machine. So Chris Hales, he's going after that 328.63. Laid down by the Red Mule, Caitlin McDonald. Right down that right chalk line, and had to be on the break. You saw it choked it at the end of the run there.
Yeah.
And this is going to be close. Take a look at that shot right there.
That's tight.
Now, Mary, what up in the Mini when you're going down the track? It's like not slow motion. I mean, you're going down the track 30 some miles an hour, and it's one of those where are you constantly out of the corner of your eye watching that white line when you're down there, or is it?
Without a doubt. But by the time you get down that far, you really can't. You're hooked so hard you can't adjust anyways. Most of the time you're going out.
Now, going back on our story, we were talking about how you got the ride in the Mini. Now, before running that tractor, have you had any motorsport experience whatsoever? I know your husband had run,
he used
stock
to race,
cars.
Yeah, stock cars at Holland Speedway, but I had never been involved in any of that. I grew up on a farm, so I was always on a tractor before I could even reach the pedals. So, familiar with the equipment, but never motorsports at all.
Like that.
So I had to learn it from square one.
Well, you guys have done a great job. I mean, over the years, and like you say, the Enderley win, I think that was the pinnacle.
It sure was.
Winning that last year, and
And getting back this year, we ended up in second, but just getting back 2 years in a row.
Is something, and leading Region 4 right now, and going into hopefully another invite for you.
Yeah.
What are the plans for next year? Are we looking at?
Next year we're going to probably run the series that they've got there around Pennsylvania. Which is that Full Pull?
Full Pull Productions down there, yep. Richard Love's organization.
Mm-hmm.
And run the Mini class. They've grown that quite a bit.
Yep, and we signed up for Simon's. Big pull out there.
Oh, the big 50,000, yes.
Yeah, we've never been out that far west.
I'm still kind of surprised they haven't filled that up yet. I know RJ sent out a thing the other day, and still a little bit, I think about half full, for the Mini class. And
some of the teams are waiting to see what the schedule is.
Okay.
Because if they're going to run for points, they can't.
But like I always say, Mary, if you ever run for points and won $50,000, that's where, you got to look at that. Everybody looks at, we're running for points. Well, when do we have the points ever? Never, so in pulling has never been 50, so it's, but yeah, that's going to be a great event. And, qualify for that one. Any other specials? I know you guys always run Bowling Green. You had a great run there this year.
Thank you.
In Bowling Green.
There's a couple others out there around this Iowa that are going to happen either before or after the Farley Hook. Whatever those are, we're going to do a couple Grand Nationals because,
while you're out there, might as well
exactly
stop in and make a couple of those.
And we've never gone that far west, so we're kind of branching out.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
We've seen a lot of Ohio. We want to kind of see more of the west.
Something different, right?
Yeah.
Something a little bit different here is our first John Deere of our Super Farm class, as we've got Russell Mullins here out of Bund, North Carolina, with nothing special, he calls his tractor. John Deere 4455. As he is currently number 3 here in the Region 4 circuit here with the NTPA. As he's over there on the left side here.
They're mixing it up.
Still chasing Caitlin McDonald, 328.63 with that red mule.
Here we go, Russell Mullins. John Deere, nothing special. Bond, North Carolina.
This is a great track, by the way it's hooking. I mean, they're in front of that pretty quick. They're hooking up fast.
And I think it's throwing them for a curveball here. We've seen a couple of these tractors really get light on the nose here, coming off the start here.
Yeah.
As the John Deere makes his run here this afternoon. Now, Mary, running over in the Netherlands this past summer. Make a lot of friends over there. I mean, a lot of contacts. You guys keep in contact.
Oh, yeah.
They're watching what you're doing. You're watching what they're doing.
Yes. Well, the Boers were kind of our host. We couldn't take fuel.
Okay.
There's no fuel that's going to go in that container.
Right.
And they said, don't worry about that. The Boers will take care of you, and they did.
And, of course, the Boer family that run the Bobcat Junior over here. And,
yes.
The Leichners run throughout the summer. And
yes.
We see the Boers come over. Boy, close here, 326.40. Good enough right now for the number 2 spot here for Russell Mullins. So 326 and 40. So
they took really good care of us. We had everything we needed, and there were no problems. The gentleman that was in charge of shipping does a lot of shipping between the States and the Netherlands. And so he had us all lined up with the container, and all the paperwork was in order, so there was no delay. There was no need to open it and inspect it.
So now, as far as, how far ahead of time did you have to have it in the container, and then how long did it take you to get the tractor after the event, from start to finish, kind of more or less?
The trip across was slower than the trip home.
Okay.
And
well, because the wind's going on. Just kidding.
Well, it was the way it all worked out with the direction of the boat.
Right.
And that bridge coming down kind of messed things up.
Oh, okay.
We weren't leaving from that location, but it
messed
clogged
up
up all the
okay.
shipping. So the boat that we put it on had to make other stops all along the East Coast before it went across. So it took almost 2 months to get there.
Okay, so 2 months to get over there.
Yeah.
And then how long ahead of time before the event did it arrive?
Well, he promised us we could have it back for Langford, because that's
okay.
our hometown hook.
Right.
And he said this time it's going direct. There's only going to be one stop in Europe before it goes straight across. You'll have it back in 2 weeks, and we did.
Okay.
So
2 months to get over there, and
close
then
to it, yeah.
2 weeks to get back. So that's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was back, and no issues, no problems, everything. I know over the years, Puller had some issues with salt water and different things over the years, but everything was good. That's good.
Yes.
No problems.
What was the one that got lost? Somehow the container got placed somewhere else and it was lost. It was Ken Veeney's old big one.
Oh, yes, I do remember
I read
that story.
An article about it in a magazine.
Yes. And right now that's going through your mind going, oh gosh, no, don't have it. Yeah, don't lose that. So here we see the Dirt Pays tractor. Isaac Love here out of Midland, North Carolina. Once again, John Deere 7810 series. And he's knocking on the door. Good run here. Super Farms putting on a show here this afternoon. Once again, session number 2 here, Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina State Fair.
They're not going to be separated by too many inches.
No, we're going to stack them up here, as we have seen time after time. The Dirt Pays entry here, and normally they've got a couple tractors out on the circuit, but here this weekend they've just got the one.
Okay, so I misspoke and overstated that. It took a month to get across the pond. It seemed like 2 months because
because you're watching. So there we go, new leader here, 3:33:40. So the John Deere takes over the number 1 spot here this afternoon in Super Farm. So Isaac Love, our new leader here in 9,300-pound Super Farm action. So 1 month to get over and 2 weeks to come on back. So, but a great experience, of course, like you said,
it was an excellent experience.
running with the rowdy screaming fans over there in Europe,
music and everything else that goes with it.
And the announcer guy, he's something over there.
Eric, actually, it's on his farm.
Oh, okay.
And he's the announcer. He does a lot of announcing all over the Euro Cup. But he's a great guy. And he and his wife have like 90 head of cattle and red and white Holsteins. He's focused on those. And they make cheese, and they also have fluid milk.
Oh, okay. As we take a look here at our next tractor coming up, going to be the Melon Mania tractor. It's going to be Rodney Jackson out of Autryville, North Carolina. Melon farmer, good big melon farm down there. We've seen this tractor a few times over the last couple of years.
I love the name. Every name goes along with something.
Oh, that's why I say you think you might know, and then like, well, no, that's but Rodney actually they've got a big melon farm, and he did tell me a couple different locations too. It's not just all in one spot there. I had the opportunity to talk to him at the Galat Motorsport event the last couple of years, and you see the 8R John Deere sheet metal on this tractor. So Isaac Love, our leader here at 3:33:40. As we've got 3 to go here in our Super Farm class, and then we're going to go truck pulling with the 4-wheel drives.
If anybody ever gets an opportunity to look around YouTube and find any European polls, they got some weird things going on. They got little cars that are, blown, and VWs and all kinds of weird, they've got.
Yeah, you say their two-wheel drive class is not really, because they really don't have two-wheel, trucks over there. So it's, you see a lot of, I know over the years, the big indoor poll, they would run the two-wheel drive class, and they had a bunch of, variety of different looking vehicles over there.
Yes. And the motor combos, and an old tank motor is in this, and they just have all kinds of different.
Oh, that's the part I love. Yeah, I like
yes.
taking a look at different kinds of turbines and
yeah.
all the things left over from World War II. That now, did you get an opportunity to kind of check out the countryside when you were out there?
We did a little bit. The guys were mainly at the track, but they gave us a couple of vans, so the ladies kind of snuck off here and there. We toured a couple of little villages that were nearby, and then we hopped on the train. We're going to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
Well, we get out of the station. It wasn't long. The train stopped, and of course we don't speak Dutch, so someone had to interpret for us. There was a problem with the brakes.
Ah, okay.
And they couldn't fix the problem with the brakes, and they took us off the train, and no more trains to Amsterdam today, so we never made it.
Ah, okay. So the trip to Amsterdam down the road then.
Yes. So we're going to go back so we could do that.
So nice run here for Rodney Jackson with the Melon Mania. Once again, Dan Mayer joined by Mary Kale here, driver of the Spending Their Inheritance Mini Modified Tractor that currently leads Region 4 with one hook to go here tonight. See it in action here 6 o'clock tonight for session number 3.
Yes. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night. The air is fantastic with this cool, crisp air at night.
At night. Did they say when you guys are going to be running? Are you going to be the second hook
Probably
again?
Second hook.
So second like you were last night?
Yep. I did not make the driver's meeting. Well, it wasn't mandatory for me to make the driver's meeting.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. Yeah, we don't want to get you in trouble there.
But they told us if you come to this meeting tomorrow morning, you can slack off. So
okay, so you're
we stayed up late last night.
There you go. You're good to go. And
not so much tonight. We got to fly out of here to get home because we're going on a cruise out west, a river cruise.
Oh, nice.
Snake River, Columbia River.
Nice.
So. At first,
who's taking the rig back?
The boys are going to take the rig home. The rest of the crew is taking the rig home because we really weren't going to come because of it.
Okay.
If we have a rain out, it's going to be a problem because we have to finish on Sunday if we're rained out. And then we'll miss the whole thing, so we didn't want to take that chance.
So they actually will move if you would have rained out, they would have moved the class into, tomorrow.
Yes.
So 3:22.08 here for Rodney Jackson with the Melon Mania, number 4 spot here. 9,300-pound Super Farms. Well, Mother Nature's, she's given us a beautiful weekend here.
Beautiful. So we don't have to deal with that, but you always got to plan ahead. So it came up with the plan that 3 of them flew down yesterday, and the 3 of us are going to fly home, and then they're going to drive. So we all took turns driving.
And, spread it out a little bit.
Spread it out. But the big question was, if you and Mike are gone, who's going to drive the tractor? Because not many people will fit in my tractor. It's built just for me.
Okay.
But I think Alan Hudson might be able to squish himself in there just to make a run.
He'd be the closest that would be able to get in there?
Yeah. It didn't come to it, but we would have figured it out.
So it looks like we've got the Bad Boy tractor, Red Springs, North Carolina. International 1066, Dan McDonald going to be doing the driving here. Currently sitting number 2 in the Region 4 points here on the NTPA. Champion over the years in Region 4 competition.
He's a strong runner.
Yeah, we've seen him down at the farm show at Louisville a couple times. His tractor has earned its way into the championship pool down there.
There's something to be said for that.
Strong running tractor, absolutely.
Yeah.
We mentioned that the applications have gone out for the farm show. All the pullers have kind of getting their resumes all worked in, and everybody.
Yep. That was a lot of the talk between the pullers this weekend. They submitted, and they're hoping to get accepted. There's a limited number, correct?
Yes. Yep. Limited number in each of the classes. And most of them, a lot of them, more or less, some kind of championship to get your way into there. as Dan McDonald here with the Bad Boy Tractor. Red Springs, North Carolina. He's got to go better than 333.40 to take the win here. They tell us the pay dirt tractor going to be a scratch here, so this will be our final entry. So red versus green once again, and I'm not going to call it. I see the leader flag down there, and he is parked just about at that lead distance marker. So Dan McDonald with the Bad Boy International. An excellent run here.
He looks
He's
excited.
fired up. Yeah, he thinks he may have done it.
There's only one more. Wow.
So we'll see here what the distance comes up. And yes, we'll take over the number one spot here. 338.13 for Dan McDonald and the Bad Boy International. So red goes back up on top here.
I'm partial to red. We had all internationals when I was
I was going to ask you, growing up on a farm.
Yeah. M's and H's and all those fun things.
What was the preference there on the farm?
We didn't have an international at all. I mean, we didn't have a John Deere at all. We had a Massey.
So yeah,
one little Massey and all the rest are internationals.
Like the red ones.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So there it is this afternoon, our Super Farm class, as Dan McDonald going to be our winner here. 338.13 will take the big win here. Dirt Pays, the John Deere, will finish up number 2. We've got the Red Buell in the number 3 spot. That was Caitlin McDonald. Number 4, nothing special. And then rounding out the top 5 this afternoon was the Melon Mania. Well, Mary, we thank you for joining us here this afternoon. We'll let you get back and get ready to go here for tonight's competition. Thanks for joining us here on Full Pull Live. And good luck here tonight running the Spending Their Inheritance tractor. And let's see if you can bring that win back home to New York here.
I'm hoping so. I really am.
So once again, 6 o'clock start time tonight, fans. And you can see the mini rod tractors, the mini modifieds here. NTPA calls them the mini modifieds.
Yes.
And 2,050-pound class. And they'll be running second class here tonight, starting at 6 o'clock. So make sure you do tune in, Full Pull Live, and see how things finish out there as we'll send things down trackside with Bert.
That's true.
Daniel, one heck of a run here today. You were the last hook in the class. You got to watch everybody else. But whatever adjustments you made, it worked. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we had a nice fresh set of tires from C&M Pull Tires. Good hole shots. Had a nice sharp edge on. Those boys do a wonderful job over there at his shop, and I think that was probably the difference in the finishing order today. Look at fell over there acting goofy, but no, we got to watch everybody, and usually on this track and a daytime track, and it going away from you, it's kind of hard to gauge, and you just got to watch each and every one of them. That's why I saw Caitlin run, and that's my teammate, and she laid down a hell of a pass. But you can't just look at that one run and say, that's how I'm going to set my tractor up, because the tractor changes from tractor to tractor. So I kind of sat back and watched everybody run, and I got in my cage at the last minute and got locked in and ready to go, and we did what we came here to do.
Well, congratulations. Now you got one more hook left. If you set it up like that, you might get both of them this weekend.
I sure hope so. We done it here back in 2021, I believe, swept the weekend, and it's always a special time to sweep one here at the NC State Fair. It's a lot of fun to win one, but when you can sweep one, it's a special weekend.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Daniel McDonald, on the Bad Boy. Back to you guys on the inside.
All right, so the Bad Boy tractor with the big win this afternoon. In our Super Farm class, as we see our weight transfer machine running the United Puller of the Carolina sled here this weekend, the big sled. As this sled runs on this state organization here with the NTPA down here in North Carolina. So going to get that sled set up here for modified four-wheel drive competition here in Raleigh here this afternoon. It looks like we've got, as I take a look at our lineup here, looks like 11 vehicles, 11 trucks coming at you. And then we'll have our Pro Farm Tractors will be the final class of the afternoon. Once again, we'll go tonight here as we see the great crowd that is assembled here in Raleigh. for the afternoon show here. The weather's just absolutely perfect. In the shade, might need a little sweatshirt or so, but a great crowd joining us here is this natural amphitheater they built here at the North Carolina State Fair many, many years ago. So we hear the first of our modified four-wheel drives firing up here this afternoon is going to be Jason Williamson out of Hertford, North Carolina with the Rump Shaker, as he is going to be our test puller here in modified four-wheel drive competition. Now, once again, they're running for Region 4 points here with the NTPA. 650 cubic inches is the limit here in the modified four-wheel drive trucks. About 1,600 horse they're making out of these trucks. And a very popular class, of course, the four-wheel drives. So many years ago, mid-70s started actually in the South, and got quite a few competitors here from Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland as well. So the Rump Shaker here out of Hertford, North Carolina. Jason Williamson with the Chevrolet going to get us rolling. So we have lightened that sled up just a little bit here from our Super Farm tractors as we get ready to go. Now, naturally aspirated engines, fans. There's no turbocharging, no supercharging allowed in this class. Just fuel injection and big horsepower. As looks like track is clear as we get ready for the Rump Shaker, our test puller, modified four-wheel drives. Uh-oh. And Jason Williamson having some trouble here as our test puller. So good news, bad news situation here for Jason. As nothing too serious. He'll be able to turn this run down and come back later in our modified four-wheel drive competition here at the North Carolina State Fair.
Daniel, good job today, man.
Once again, fans, make sure you do check out Full Pull Picks. You know, we're starting to wind down the pulling events and some of the variety that we've seen over the last couple weekends. But, yeah, there is head-to-head picks all weekend long here from the North Carolina State Fair. And then we've got next weekend down in Lufkin, Texas. So make sure you do check out Full Pull Picks. So the Rump Shaker and Jason Williamson having trouble there. Right around that 200-foot mark here as our test puller and modified four-wheel drive.
Even though you won't be my Facebook friend, I'm told I'm better off that you're not, so it's okay. And we made it work today.
So here we see on the replay, nice start for the truck right down the center of the track here. Kind of drove it off to the right just a little bit, but 235 and 64 the distance. 235 and 64. And I would imagine he is probably going to turn that run down. Oh, he is going to take it. Okay, so he must have some kind of issue. So 235 and 64 for Jason Williamson. So hopefully nothing too serious with that truck, but serious enough where this afternoon that's going to be it for him. As we see some of our United pullers of the Carolina officials. Of course, this sled right here years ago was an old Ironman sled from Von Bauer, and a group down here in North Carolina purchased that sled. So looks like on our lineup here we should have Tony Everett, our next puller up here in modified four-wheel drive competition. It's again at that 6,200 pounds.
Right on, man. Right on, right on. So we're going to decide as a championship tomorrow. You took a big step towards that today. Congratulations, folks, one more time. Daniel McDonald, this entire McDonald family, you see them down here, they put in the blood.
So taking a look here as we fire up the Doe Runner. Now there's a name that goes way back in modified four-wheel drive competition here, as Tony Everett going to be doing the driving. Morrisville, North Carolina. Dad Roy Everett, a former NTPA Grand National Champion with the Doe Runner. He's going to be followed by Bunky Davis with the Seldom Seen truck. And then we've got Ron Johnson out of Georgia with the Mistress. Our next couple trucks coming up here in our four-wheel drive. So we see that good-looking Doe Runner as he makes his way here to the weight transfer machine. GMC S15 body on this truck.
Here comes that Doe Runner.
Here we take a look at that hitch. Now, hitch height in these four-wheel drive trucks, 26 inches. As we see the big Sonny's horsepower for Sonny Leonard. 650 cubic inches.
We need your vehicle moved up top of the staging area, please. Don't you Richmond, Georgia? Don't you, Daddy?
See the fuel injection set up at the top of that engine. Now, some of the four-wheel drives we've seen over the years, a lot of them run the hand throttles. You got more control over your hand than you do your foot, but some of the old school pullers still use the foot throttle in four-wheel drive. But we see right in the cab there, Tony Everett, he's got the hand throttle. So the Doe Runner GMC, Tony Everett. Right now our mark to beat 235 and 64. Jason Williamson having trouble at that 235 and 64 with the rump shaker. So let's see if the Doe Runner can get the job done here this afternoon.
Get you a t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt. We sold out of hoodies last night. We got
All right, great run down the left side here for the Doe Runner GMC this afternoon. As we just saw with our Super Farm tractors, this four-wheel drive class can be very tight as far as distances go, and no doubt we will stack them up here. So we'll get the distance in here for Tony Everett with the Doe Runner. As you see it, modified four-wheel drive competition, about 75% of that weight of that truck is out front as the sled actually pulls the back of the truck down. Now a couple guys can actually move the back of that truck around. So we'll see the distance here, 291 and 90. Good run here for the Doe Runner, 291 and 90. So that was the truck out of Morrisville, North Carolina, as we've got Bunky Davis coming up here next out of Tappahannock, Virginia, with the Seldom Seen truck. Going to be followed by Ron Johnson with the Mistress, and then Glenn Hedrick with the Moonshine Express. Our next three here in four-wheel drive. Here we take a look at the staging lanes. All the trucks lined up, ready to go.
Big time into four-wheel drive pulling across the country. Oh, yes. Lots and lots of Sonny's power out there. We're going to Virginia next. Mr. Bunky Davis.
All right, there we take a look at the midway here at the North Carolina State Fair. Once again, the 11-day run here at the North Carolina State Fair here in Raleigh. One of the largest state fairs in the nation. So Bunky Davis, our next puller, out of Tappahannock, Virginia. Over there on the eastern side. Just outside of the Williamsburg area. Up there along the bay. Of course, Tappahannock over the years, a lot of pullers coming out of that area. As we see Bunky moving out here with the Seldom Seen. Good looking ride, new truck just a couple years ago. So right now the mark to beat here, 291.90, 291.90. As we've got the Chevrolet here. Once again, these trucks running for NTPA Region 4 points. They'll have 2 hooks here this weekend as well. And all part of that Pro Pulling Tire Series here on Region 4. All right, so the GMC leads the way here. Let's see what the Chevrolet has to say about it. Bunky Davis. Screaming the horsepower down the left-hand side of the track here, up against that rev limiter. And we will see, is it enough to take over that number 1 spot here this afternoon? As Bunky taking a look here at our finish line flagman. Well, he says, did I do it? Did I do it? And no, 288.02 the distance, 288.02 for Bunky Davis. That will put him in the number 2 spot here. So that will bring us up here to the truck out of Georgia. Ron Johnson, Lincolnton, North Georgia, with the Mistress. Our next up here in 4-wheel drive competition, as we see the Doe Runner leading the way at 291.90. Seldom seen Bunky Davis number 2 at 288.02, and then we'll put the Rump Shaker down in that number 3 spot here this afternoon. As we see the Mistress truck right there on the starting line, that's Ron Johnson. He's getting the call to fire that machine up. And we see in the background, we see Mason Brizendine and his cut loose truck. He's a little bit further down in our field here of modified 4-wheel drives. So once again this afternoon, we're going to have the countdown to Pull Time show starting at 4 o'clock here this afternoon. Before we get rolling with our Session 3 show here tonight at 6 o'clock, we see some of the great fans here in Raleigh, North Carolina, enjoying the action here.
We have 11 trucks in this class.
As looks like we've got some major work going on back there in the pit area, the staging lanes, as we see the contender truck. They've got the whole hood off that truck. They're working on it over there. We see Dad Joe back there. But right now we got the Ford out of Georgia. This is the Mistress and Ron Johnson.
Chances are you've seen some of these trucks on the TV.
Good looking Ford F-150 goes by the name of the Mistress. So early on here in 4-wheel drive competition, we seem to be working that left side of the track here.
All right, we're looking to beat 291.
Be interesting to see if kind of what the scenario that all these competitors just seems to be a little bit packed back together a little bit, not as soft as the other side of the track possibly. We'll see if we can find that out. See some of the sophisticated setups on these 4-wheel drives as far as suspension goes. Now, years ago, a lot of these competitors just ran a solid type suspension. Some still do, but we see on this truck here, he's got the coilovers up front. Fully adjustable here. So the Mistress, let's see what the Ford has for us here this afternoon. 291.90, the mark to beat in 4-wheel drive. All right, so the Ford once again working that left side of the track here, the Mistress. And that is Ron Johnson out of Lincolnton, Georgia.
Great looking ride.
Now, a lot of times four-wheel drive trucks will actually build a road as they make their way down the track here. As it looks like we've got Bert down there trackside. We'll get this replay done here. We'll send things down to Bert. 284-11 for the Mistress. 284-11 for the Mistress and Ron Johnson. As we'll send things down trackside with Bert.
Tony, one heck of a run. Right now you're in the lead. Is it an advantage today to beat the early hook, you think?
Yeah, I do think so. The track, especially with the sunlight, seems to be drying out some. So being an earlier hook definitely had an advantage, I do believe. There's still some awesome trucks back here to run, so anything can happen.
Well, I tell you, that is a legendary truck down here in the South and all over the country. I know your mom's watching from home right now, so you want to say hey to Mom?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mom, couldn't do this without her, my team. It takes a lot of people to make this happen, and we appreciate everybody.
Well, we're going to see how it holds out for you, Tony. Right now you're in the lead. Back to you guys.
All right, so Tony Everett there in the Doe Runner. Once again, we'll say hi to Mom back home as she's watching. And, well, Tony says an advantage here by the luck of the draw. Hooking early in this afternoon session. He's thinking that track going to dry out here. And we will see, because we do have some heavy hitters down towards the bottom of the field here. And some trucks that we have seen really mix it up with the national trucks. And that has always been the case. These trucks out of the South always can run with anybody, anywhere they want. They are tough. As we see the Moonshine Express. Speaking of tough here, Glenn Hedrick. Once again, Chevrolet bodied S10. Out of Wytheville, Virginia, the Moonshine Express. Now, anybody that has ever driven down US 19 in Wytheville, Virginia, you got to watch out for the, well, let's just say watch out for the police there in Wytheville. As we see the Moonshine Express here, Glenn Hedrick. So another one of our Virginia trucks. Looks like in our lineup here we've got 5 of the trucks out of Virginia. 2 of them come out of North Carolina. We've got 2 of them out of Maryland. And 1 out of Georgia here this afternoon make up our four-wheel drive class. As Glenn Hedrick. Wytheville, Virginia with the Moonshine Express. Now we can see on his suspension there, he's just got the shock sitting there, and he's got the coil spring back in the normal pocket location. So like I say, if you take a look at all the different four-wheel drives, everybody's got a different idea as far as the way suspension goes as we get ready for the Moonshine Express. Once again, nice run down that left-hand chalk line. But not going to be enough for the Moonshine Express here this afternoon. The Chevy S10 body on that. Extended cab. Take a look at that keg out front, the fuel can. Fuel tank for that truck. So let's see here. 277 and 23, 277 and 23 here for the Moonshine Express. And that will put him right now in the number 4 spot. As Tony Everett still leads the way here in four-wheel drive competition. Once again, our Pro Farm tractor is going to be the final class of the afternoon, 9,500-pound Pro Farms. I was taking a look at some of the tractors earlier this afternoon, and what a good-looking bunch of Pro Farms down here in North Carolina. As there we see our top 5 lineup on the side there. So that will move us. Well, we're going to go back to Virginia here in the four-wheel drive class as Mason Brizendine, third generation puller out of Dunville, Virginia. He calls this one Cut Loose. Now, Dad Temple ran the Footloose truck for so many years. Matter of fact, his grandfather Jim started with the Footloose name, and I was talking to Temple earlier about that. I says, "Hey, what's running with the new name on the truck?" He goes, "Well," he says, "Footloose is my name," and he says, "I'm not going to give that to the boy," so he comes up with Cut Loose. So third generation Mason Brizendine making his way out on the track right now. There you see on the side of the truck the Dragon Motorsports, and that is the organization that Temple, his dad, is in charge of over there, as they have organization. They run the four-wheel drive trucks over there in Virginia.
Abigail Johnson, where are you from?
So here we go with the Cut Loose as he backs it up. Now he's going to move that sled back towards the middle part of the track here. So we saw the first, now I say 5 trucks here have run down the left side, and I think more or less wore it out. So Mason says, "Hey, we're going to take that GMC and put it over here in the middle and see how that's going to work out here for him."
Thank you guys so much. We're looking to send Leon Dixon and his catering company back out west. And again,
there you see the Bowling Green, Ohio stickers on the side of the window there. And of course, Mason had a big Bowling Green this past August, as put this truck in the winner's circle, had a top 5 finish with the truck.
strong running truck. Trying to get it at 300 foot mark and take the lead.
Of course, anytime you put the truck in the winner's circle, that's what it's all about, especially in Bowling Green. All right, here we go, the Cut Loose. And cutting a fresh path right down the center of the track here for Mason Brizendine. And we'll see if that will bump the flag here. Tony Everett right now our leader at 291.90 in four-wheel drive competition. So we'll see if that is enough. The GMC here.
That's what you were talking about earlier. Nice and light on the back end of it. All the weight hanging off the front.
So we'll bring the Cut Loose and turn it around down there at the end of the track.
How are y'all? What's your name? What? Slow down. We got time. All right. What's your name? We're working on it. We got it.
So once again, we are in the middle of our modified four-wheel drive class here. North Carolina State Fair here in Raleigh. Saturday afternoon session. As you see, just a beautiful, beautiful day here in North Carolina. Fans enjoying all the great action here on the pulling track.
I appreciate you guys. It's all going to the
as we get our distance in here for Mason Brizendine with the Cut Loose truck, the GMC. John Maskey will be up next here with the Bad Addiction 2. He's out of Albemarle, North Carolina. Billy Kramer with the Contender, and then Kevin Schools, the Farmer's Daughter. Our next 3 here in modified four-wheel drive.
Taking the lead. Comes that forward. Here comes that forward he was talking about. Did you say 310? 310. Yes, that's it.
So let's see here on the replay. Oh, 291 and 61. Just shy of taking over that number 1 spot. 291 and 61 for Mason Brizendine. So that will put him number 2 here. And cutting a path, a new lane down the track here. It'll be interesting to see where our next truck, the Bad Addiction, gonna roll out from here. As Mason Brizendine rolled the dice down there, says, hey, we're going to try something a little bit different. Move that sled over towards the middle of the track here. Now looks like the Bad Addiction 2, looks like they're going to put that truck, they're going to split the difference here from the left-hand chalk line in the middle part of the track here. So our second of the trucks out of North Carolina, third truck out of North Carolina. Sorry about that. The Bad Addiction 2 here, Ford entry, F-150 body. All right, boy, we are starting to stack them up here. Great run for the Ford out of Albemarle, North Carolina. So we will see if he had enough here. We have got him awfully tight here at the top. Once again, Tony Everett in the lead here with the Doe Runner GMC. As distance comes in here at 273 and 57, 273 and 57 for the Bad Addiction 2. And now right there, he got off to that right side a little bit. I think a little bit further over to the right than he wanted to go. Now we saw Mason Brizendine right down the center of the track there. So the Bad Addiction 2, and we will park him in that number 6 spot here, as we've got just a few more trucks left to run here in our 4-wheel drive truck class, and we will call it complete here for the 4-wheel drives.
The truck break got it fixed, and they get here, what, a couple hours ago?
So we've got hook number 8 out of our 11 here this afternoon. Going to be Billy Kramer with the Contender truck here out of Dunkirk, Maryland. And the Kramer boys running out on the Grand National circuit this past summer. Run a full Grand National campaign, and good to see them here at this Region 4 event here in Raleigh. So first up will be Billy Kramer with the Contender Chevrolet. Now he finished up number 11 when it was all said and done on the Grand National circuit. Now this was the truck that we saw just a couple trucks ago. They had the front end off of it. We saw Dad in there working on the engine department. Dad Joe, a longtime puller in the 4-wheel drive class himself, with the old hard hooker truck. As we see Billy Kramer making his way to the start line here, that good-looking Chevrolet, the Contender. Now he's back over to the left side. So they are still working out there, trying to find the best possible place to work from here, try to get that hole shot. Now we talk hole shot in pulling. It's how fast you can get that sled moving that first 50 to 75 feet. If you don't get that sled moving, not going to make it to the top end of that pulling track. So the Contender, as we start to wind things down, 4-wheel drive competition. So we'll see if he can get find the magic here this afternoon, get down this track here. Now, Tony Everett, in his interview with Bert, had said that he had thought this track was going to dry out a little bit and kind of go away here as the competitors run. But Mason Brizendine, he proved that there is still some track out there. As he fell just a couple inches short. All right, here we go, the Contender. Working that left side to perfection. Boy, it'll be a great if we could see a head-on shot from there, how close he actually was to that left-hand chalk line there. Now remember, fans in pulling, we measure to the front of that sled. It's not actually the pulling vehicle we measure, it's to the front of that weight transfer machine. As we see here, Billy Kramer, 290, 212, we got a new leader. Wow, down that left-hand chalk line. 292.12, new leader here, the truck out of Maryland, as Billy Kramer goes into that number 1 spot. Great run.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Has parked up right against that chalk line. As we see, our leaderboard now has changed, as we've got a couple just within a couple feet of each other, as we've got Bert down trackside.
I've got the 2 Marvins here. Marvin Epperson, right now, he's like, get out of the way. You see Marvin Epperson right here. Marvin McDonald here, the president of United Pullers of the Carolinas. It's definitely been a great day for pulling, hasn't it, Marvin?
It has been a great day. The weather's beautiful. Got a wonderful class of trucks and tractors here at the NC State Fair. Just couldn't be better.
Marvin, I'm going to go to you for a second. You know, had some challenges last night with the track, but the day has run flawlessly.
Oh, yeah, it's 180-degree turnaround. They've done a real good job of the track today. It's got double moisture in it. Sled's working like it should be, like normal. Hair heavy on this four-wheel drive class, but everything else is running pretty good.
Well, with the competition in this four-wheel drive class, you better be safe than sorry, correct?
Yeah, I'd like to give them about another 30 feet, but we're okay here, so we'll have a winner no matter what.
All right, folks, we'll be back tonight at 6 p.m. We got tons more action for you. Don't forget, light pros are coming back, mini mods, two-wheel drives, and light four-wheel drives. So we got a big show for you tonight starting at 6 p.m.
All right, so back to the four-wheel drive action here, as we just saw Billy Kramer take over that number 1 spot with the contender truck. Now, also, Billy going to be driving his brother's truck here, the Supernatural, a little bit later on here. So he's going to be doing double duty, as we've still got a couple more trucks left to go, as right now the top 3 separated by less than a foot. Does not get any closer than that, as we see the good-looking Chevrolet here. This is the farmer's daughter, Kevin Schools, doing the drive-in here. Kevin built this truck for his daughter, and she has not have not seen her behind the wheel of this truck a whole bunch. Was driving the other truck, just Rutten truck. So she was a little bit more used to that one, as Kevin getting this truck ready to go, get some runs under his belt. Beautiful looking four-wheel drive Chevrolet right here, as Kevin Schools out of St. Stephen's Church, Virginia. Say that 2 or 3 times fast. Farmer's daughter truck. Of course, Kevin Schools for many years ran the Just Rutten truck. Still has that one, but only brought the farmer's daughter here to Raleigh here this weekend. So we're going to see. He's got that sled up there on the left side. We're going to see if he's going to run that lane. We just saw Billy Kramer run down the left side here and try to take over that number 1 spot. 292.12, the high water mark here. 292.12. Got a little bit off that left-hand sideline here that we saw Billy Kramer take that number 1 spot, but nonetheless a great run here for the farmer's daughter truck out of Virginia.
What a gorgeous truck that is, man.
And what a great class we're watching here. These four-wheel drives never disappoint as far as goes with closeness. As we will see here, as 290.60. So we'll put 4 trucks within less than 2 feet here. 290.60 for Kevin Schools, with still 2 trucks left to go here. So number 4 spot for the truck out of St. Stephen's Church, Virginia. As we will have Billy Kramer coming on back here. We talked about that, driving his brother Jacob's truck. This is going to be the Supernatural up next, and then Jordan Eddy out of Tappahannock, Virginia, with the Just Rutten here this afternoon. Going to be our final hook. So yeah, they do have the Just Rutten here this weekend. So did bring both of their trucks. Oh boy, look how close they have got that sled right there on the white chalk line here. So you know exactly where Billy Kramer's going to go. He took over that number 1 spot here with the other truck. He says, hey, we're gonna go right back to the well here one more time. So Billy Kramer, Dunkirk, Maryland, here with the Supernatural truck. Next up here in modified 4-wheel drive, as we see that white chalk line, that's what he's going to try to go down. And look how close, man. No room for error, that's for sure. So 2 trucks left to go here in our modified 4-wheel drive. Take a look at those top 4 distances, as we have got the top 4 within less than 2 feet here. And we've still got 2 tough trucks sitting back there ready to go, as Billy Kramer and then Miss Jordanetti.
Last night at 11:30, I went and got some fried cheese from the Wisconsin folks over there. That was a mistake.
All right, so there we see the Supernatural. And Billy Kramer once again doing the driving. Jacob not on hand here this weekend. There we take a look at the foot on the brake here. Of course, as they make their way down the track, you don't touch the brake. You steer them with those front tires. Of course, you'd hit that brake, that would totally kill the momentum. Now this is going to be interesting here as he backs it in. I don't think I've ever seen anybody disqualified before they ever took off. This is Marvin Epperson down there saying, hey, wait a minute here. We're not even going to throw the green flag here. Okay, so he's going to move it over just a little bit here. That would have been something there. You start off on the white line, but yeah, like we said, any portion of that truck touches that white line, disqualification. So Billy is about as far over, I think, as you want to be. Let's take a look at that. I'd say maybe 6 inches, maybe less than that. No room for error here for the Supernatural. 2 left to go. Modified 4-wheel drive right now. Billy, well, he's in a situation where he's got to go out there and beat himself as he sits in that number 1 spot. 292.12, just did that 2 trucks ago. So definitely track still there. And once again, right down that left-hand chalk line to perfection here as he quickly shuts the truck down. Now here the trucks, when they take off the start line, they run the centrifugal clutches. What that means, the RPM goes up, the clutch starts to lock in, just like we saw in 2-wheel drives, the mini rods. So Billy quickly shuts the truck down, gets the helmet off, and we'll see here what the distance comes up here for the Supernatural. Now this is the 2018 Chevrolet, of course.
I've been around drag racing for a minute or two, yeah, but
Billy out of Dunkirk, Maryland.
I don't really know how to compare it. I would say
as 281.93, so 281.93 for the Supernatural, not the run he was looking for here with this truck. As he got off that chalk line just a little bit towards the end of his run there. I wonder if that hurt him just a little bit. So there you can see that weight box on him at that point right there. The back of the pan has dropped and digging into the ground. And for everything they are worth out there trying to get these 4-wheel drives down the track. So 1 to go here as we take a look at our leaderboard. Billy Kramer leads the way with the contender, the dough runner, and Tony Everett's at number 2, and then Mason Brizendine in the number 3 spot with the cut loose truck. So we are down to the Just Rutten truck and Jordan Eddy. And then we'll move on into our 9,500-pound Pro Farm class here this afternoon. Once again, 4 o'clock, we'll have our countdown to pull time show. And then 6 o'clock sharp, we will roll with our session number 3 here at the North Carolina State Fair here in Raleigh. And we're going to need another tow strap, looks like.
Sit around after the race is over with, talk trash to one another, tell a whole lot of lies. Yeah, well, I won't go.
Pull these 6,200-pound trucks out of the holes, and, well, sometimes you can see the...
So Pro Puller Tires, a huge sponsor for Region 4 especially.
Not enough in the strap there, and Bert's going to go check it out right now.
Providing cutting-edge technology in tractor pulling tires since 2016.
So there we can see the Pro Farm tractors lined up there as they will be next to go to work here.
Sponsor Pro Puller Tires, which are not on that four-wheel drive truck, by the way, but they are on those tractors over there.
So once again, these four-wheel drive trucks are running for Region 4. Pro Puller Tires sponsored Region 4 circuit.
I'll follow you. Well, so you don't want me work tonight? But I get the night off? No. Well, son, if I go ride that thing, I'll never be back here by tonight.
All right, so looks like we've got the Supernatural truck out of the holes, and we'll take it back around here, get that track back into shape. As you see the scraper and roller tractor working behind the truck here. We'll fill the holes in, and then we'll pack it down nice and tight with that wobble wheel roller.
You don't play the what-if game with State Fair rides.
Again, great track conditions here so far this weekend. We have seen this track crew. Hats off to them. They have done a phenomenal job keeping this track really consistent for these pullers. So one truck to go, and it's going to be a Chevrolet, the Just Rutten and Jordan Eddy on the Tappahannock.
Logistically, yeah, but all these rides here have been inspected by state for sure. Do a great job. Fire marshal's office, state inspector's office.
And there you can see right there, two guys can lift the back of that truck around, move it around, makes it kind of easy to get them around the pits. As here comes that Just Rutten Chevrolet.
What we got, but we're proud of it. And we hope we keep coming back for years to come. And here comes the Just
All right, so we see Dad out front there, Mr. Kevin Schools. The Just Rutten Chevrolet, very popular truck.
Probably so. You see, he's a little bit off the line. Everybody else has been hugging that left side line. He's a little bit farther this way. He's moved over a little bit. Trying some new area as the track dries out. Right?
All right, so as we take a look here, let's see where she has spotted the sled here. I think she's going to be about center spot or so. We saw Mason Brizendine run. Kind of hard to tell on that angle. Yeah, there we see right there. She's off that left-hand chalk line a little bit here. His dad's going to give some last-minute instruction here before we turn her loose. So the Chevrolet out of Tappahannock, Virginia, Jordan Eddy. So we'll get the slack out of the chain here. 292.12, 292.12 right now, the magic mark in this class.
Last weekend, one of them on that revolution structure was their first win, took it to the house.
All right, chain tight, here we go.
Just Rutten coming at you.
Final truck, modified four-wheel drives, running for Region 4 points here with the NTPA. Oh, she called on it. All right, we'll see here on the distance. A great run right down the center. Boy, you heard the RPMs come up.
I think he made a catch about it. I'd say he was doing some calculating. What a gorgeous truck that is, too. He must be a deer hunter, you reckon? I'm not sure.
All right, so we
But I expect most of them are.
rolled out here. We see on the replay, rolled out with it, and there it is. Our winner here this afternoon, 297 and 76. 297 and 76. Waited on it and called on that big horsepower. Yes, I was just going to, yeah. So there you can see right there, fans, the Just Run takes the big win here this afternoon, 297 and 76 here. And what a great afternoon of action we have seen here. As the last hook in all three of the classes we have seen have been our winners here. As the Just Run will take the victory, 297.76. The contender, Billy Kramer, number 2 at 292.12. Doe Runner, number 3 at 291.90. We'll put Mason Brizendine in the number 4 spot with Cut Loose at 291.61. And then rounding out our top 5, Kevin Schools with the Farmer's Daughter at 290 and 60. And what a great class. And, you know, we go back talking to Tony Everett there. Bert was talking to him earlier in the class, and he said, hey, I think this track's going to dry out, get a little bit worse. Well, we saw it go the opposite way here this afternoon as it got better here, or more or less stayed consistent. I would have to say, more or less didn't think it got better or worse, but stayed consistent, and that's all the pullers can hope for. As we will move right into our 9,500-pound Pro Farm class, our final class, and we'll see if we can keep the streak going here with the final vehicle in each of these classes, the winner. As we see the track crew out on the track right now as we have completed 3 classes here this afternoon as we get ready for the 4th and final class here at the great North Carolina State Fair here in Raleigh.
Tony Everett, the Morrisville, North Carolina-based doe runner, coming in 3rd.
So the Pro Farm Tractors, 9,500 pounds up next here. And some good-looking entries here. We saw them this afternoon, taking a look at them in the pit area here, and some really good-looking rides here. First time had the opportunity to see this class, the Pro Farms here. And they will be running once again tomorrow afternoon in our final session of pulling, and we'll see if we can maybe do a little bit of a feature on these tractors, let you know a little bit more about them as far as what they are allowed to run. I do believe they run a 3x3 turbo on these tractors. 466 and a 3-inch turbo is what they're telling me. A little bit smaller tire, I think about a 20-inch tire they run on them. And looks like we've got Bert down there trackside. Are we going to wait? Maybe we'll run one more here. All right, so we're going to run one more here, and then we'll send it down to Bert in the winner's circle. He's got our big winner, Jordan Eddy, down there, as we've got Nathan Keiger here with the Wishbone Reloaded. Going to be our test puller here, 9,500-pound Hot Farm class. As we are ready to roll, we'll run this tractor, and then we'll send it down trackside with our big winner in our modified 4-wheel drive class. And yep, Bert, another lady, wins it here this weekend. All right, so the Wishbone Reloaded here in Hot Farm competition is going to start us off here this afternoon. So looks like we've got Bert down trackside with our big winner here in modified 4-wheel drive class, Jordan Eddy.
Y'all
I have Jordan Eddy here. Your first official win on the Just Rutten four-wheel drive.
Yes, sir.
So, now, by my understanding, you're actually driving your dad's truck?
Yes. He's driving mine, Farmer's Daughter, and I've been driving his Just Rutten this year.
Well, congratulations on your first win. You've got one more day to do it. You think you can do it 2 times in a row?
I'm going to try. Girl power.
You got it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner right here, Miss Jordan Eddy on the Just Rutten four-wheel drive.
Streak of lady winners here in Raleigh continues here as Jordan Eddy takes the big win here in our modified four-wheel drive class. So just to get you caught up here, Nathan Keiger with the Wishbone Reloaded out of Nashville, North Carolina, turned down his run here this afternoon, our test hook here in the 9,500-pound Pro Farm class. So he turned down his run here of 3:13 and 31. That's a pretty big distance right there, but see at the end of his run kind of snuffed that tractor out. So he says, hey, we can come back and do a little bit better. So 3:13 and 31. And he will turn that run down as we'll have Justin Sturdivant out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, right up the road here. And the Red Iron Special, a tractor that used to run Super Farm, if memory serves me right, the Barrier family years ago. Wyatt Pickler will follow with the Game Changer, and then we got Kendall Beasley, a name that we have seen in the Light Pro competition, going to be running the High Tech Harvester here this afternoon. So 13 of the Pro Farm tractors here. 13 of the Pro Farms running here this afternoon. So this will set our mark to beat here, the Red Iron Special. So a real nice run right here for the Red Iron Special out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Right around the belt here in the Raleigh area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. So this will be the mark that the rest of the class will be shooting for here, 9,500-pound Pro Farm tractors. 466 cubic inches with a 3-inch inlet outlet turbocharger, so 317.88. So right away we see the decision there from Nathan Keiger. He says, hey, I'm going to turn that run down and come back later, because right now he'd be sitting in the number 2 spot here. So Red Iron Special will set the mark to beat here. Wyatt Pickler, New London, North Carolina, with the Game Changer. Of course, those folks that follow pulling, New London, North Carolina. Of course, you know the Shelton team out of New London, the Culp Lumber operation. As Mr. Pickler will be up next here. Kendall Beasley, and then Abigail McDonald with the Revelation. Our next 3 here in Pro Farm competition. Take a look at that. The Game Changer John Deere. The Pickler family now also run a 2-wheel drive. Unfortunately, they had some damage with the 2-wheeler, not able to bring it here to Raleigh this weekend. So this will be their lone shot here at the North Carolina State Fair track. Wyatt Pickler and the Game Changer. Game Changer Premium Deer Corn. Long Creek Farms. Cool looking wrap on that. Looks to be about a John Deere 4450 or so. So Wyatt Pickler, first look at a John Deere here in our Pro Farm class. Final class of the afternoon. Session number 2 here in Raleigh. All right, slack out of the chain. Let's see. Looks like he's centered. Yeah, just about dead center down the track here. 9,500-pound Pro Farm. Oh, the crowd goes wild here in Raleigh as the John Deere looks like he's going to take over that number 1 spot here. We saw the officials moving that lead marker down there, and we will see just how much we are going to move here tonight. 3:17.88 the mark to beat right now. And we can see after that a little bit of a rough start there, but yeah, 3:29.01 new leader here in our 9,500-pound Pro Farm. 3:29.01 for Wyatt Pickler, as we have got Kendall Beasley up next with his high-tech harvester tractor. Abigail McDonald with the Revelation, and then Alan Moore, one more Hoss, calls that tractor. So Wyatt Pickler, new leader here in our Pro Farm class, New London, North Carolina. Once again, fans, some great pulling action coming up here in the next few weeks, as next weekend be down in Lufkin, Texas for the Outlaw Finals. That'll be Friday and Saturday night. Crown champions in the modified class of 2-wheel drives, as well as the Pro Stock tractors, and they'll be heading to White Plains, Georgia for the Diesels and Dark Corners, November 1st and 2nd, the big diesel event down there, as they all battle it out for that World Championship title, the WWF or WWE style belt they run for down there, and then the Golden State Invitational in Madera, California, November 8th and 9th. Some West Coast pulling action. So you can see some great events coming up here on Full Pull Live, and make sure for $39.99 you can be a part of it. As we've got Kendall Beasley making his way to the sled here with his, his second ride of the weekend here. Clayton, North Carolina, just about half hour, 45 minutes from Raleigh. The high-tech harvester here in our Pro Farm classes. Looks like going to pretty much work that same spot of the track here. We just saw Wyatt Pickler take over that number 1 position.
Here comes Brianna Beasley.
Okay, so they tell us no, that's going to be Brianna Beasley doing the driving. Brianna behind the wheel.
Brianna, I believe this is her first year driving as well. Is that right? Yes, I think so.
So Brianna going to take over here the driving duties of the 1466 as she brings it out on the track here.
Just an absolute wonderful family to Beasley. And she don't get this tractor no slack either. Like, it ain't babying it.
Yeah, looks like we got Dad out front. Dad's taking a phone call.
I guess since John blew his up, he put some more power to the tractor.
So there we see young Brianna in the seat here. It has been a weekend for the ladies. Let's see if she can get the job done here. Just making sure got that tractor lined up nice and square as she backs it in here. So 9,500-pound Pro Farm class. Now this class runs with the United Pullers of the Carolina. This is a state level class, not included with the NTPA Region 4 circuit. So we'll go up there, we'll turn that GoPro on and send Brianna on her way. First year of driving here for Brianna. Dad making sure those belts nice and tight.
Yes, Zaki's got 75 points. Cornfield Express is 69.
So International 1466. Another generation of the Beasleys here. High-tech harvester.
on, y'all. Come on, girl power. Where you at? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. This is Brianna Beasley, the International Harvester in the Beasley family, coming at you. Looking to take out that John Deere wide pickler out of Clayton, North.
All right, she's got to go better than 3:29.01 to take over that number one spot. 3:29.01. The John Deere leads the way here. Oh, she got off to the right side here. Now the big question, did she go far enough? 3:29.01, but a nice job of driving here for Brianna. So we'll see how close she did get here.
That's right. It's better to be disqualified. That's correct.
We've seen Dad making his way down the sidelines here.
The girls ain't done yet, though.
So 3:23.02, number two spot here. 3:23.02 for Brianna Beasley.
Abigail McDonald. We call her Abby. You saw her sister earlier. They are polar.
All right, so we have got Abigail McDonald coming up next here. Revelation out of Red Springs, North Carolina. So the ladies keep coming. So the high-tech harvester number two right now, 3:23.02. Right in the middle of our 9,500-pound Pro Farm class. North Carolina State Fair.
Free sleepers to sleep, everybody. Fred Smith Company again.
So Abigail McDonald with the Revelation, Alan Moore's One More Hoss, and then Zach Bissett with the Dirt Candy. That's an interesting name, Dirt Candy.
We'd like to give a special shout out to Gregory Poole. Just across the street from the Fairgrounds, our friends at Gregory Poole for all your Caterpillar needs.
As we see some of our competitors in the lineup there.
Gregory Poole Equipment Company.
Sitting alongside the track, watching the track conditions here this afternoon. Beautiful afternoon for pulling here at the North Carolina State Fair.
Had a relationship with him ever since. So that's good stuff. I bet you the price has changed a little bit on him. Just a little bit. He's got more than that little dozer now, too.
All right, so we'll bring out Abigail McDonald. Abby McDonald with the Revelation. As looks like we've got Bert down there trackside with a report.
Wyatt, so far right now you're in the lead at 3:29, but you have some tough competition back there. Do you think it's going to hold?
I don't really know if it's going to hold or not. Well, I hope it does. Had a good pass, good RPMs and everything. Came out of the hole great. I just can't. I'm going to have to see what happens next.
Well, good luck to you. We're going to see what happens here. We still got about 8 tractors left, and we got a few tractors coming back, so hopefully it'll hold for you.
Yes, sir. I hope it does too, and I hope Zachy don't get me by my yards.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, so Wyatt Pickler, our current leader here with that John Deere at 3:29.01, as we see here in the staging lanes. Looks like having a little bit of issue getting that tractor fired up here. The Revelation. As we see some of the other competitors, and I think he just said we're going to drop, so looks like they've got a battery issue of some kind here. So we'll see whether or not going to take a drop here in the class, or so yes, sir, they are going to drop.
Abby is dropping 6.
All right, so as the NTPA rule book, you have a mechanical problem, you drop 6 positions, see if you can get it sorted out.
She's going to drop down 6 spots in the lineup. They'll get her
But at that point, you got to be ready to go, and if not, unfortunately, will be a scratch.
Of Alan Moore out of Timberlake, North Carolina.
So we're going to move ahead here in the competition with Alan Moore. Timberlake, North Carolina, with One More Hoss tractor.
This tractor's come a long ways this year. They have worked hard at it.
As we see the One More Hoss entry here.
This class has really grown over the years.
International 1066 here. It's all shooting for that John Deere sitting in that number 1 spot. You do see a couple deer sitting back there as well, sprinkled throughout our lineup.
Thank you very much. See you later. One More Hoss out of Timberlake, North Carolina.
All right, so Alan Moore puts his neck brace on and cinch those belts down nice and tight before he turns it loose here this afternoon. 9,500-pound Hot Farm tractors. Wyatt Pickler leads the way with the Game Changer. 329.01, the John Deere. Number 2 spot, we've got Brianna Beasley with the high-tech harvester at 323.02. So got to get into 320s if you want to be in the money this afternoon.
We got a red tractor. We got black smoke. We got Alan Moore out of Timberlake, so One More Hoss.
Whoa. Took a hard turn and more or less a Z out on the track here, over on the left side, over to the right. And we see the official making sure kept it in bounds. Boy, he got awful close there as he brought it back around. Alan Moore with the One More Hoss tractor. Not sure what happened there, but to take a hard right like that. Whew.
Nothing to sneeze about. That's not a bad run at all. And I bet he learned. He learned a lot right there. Yeah, if he didn't get disqualified, that's right.
So here we'll see on the replay 3:11 and 92. 3:11 and 92 the distance. As we see right at that point right there, not sure if he was on the break and brought it back around, but then he's like, oh man, I got to hit back the other way here. And right at this point right here, look at how close he was to that right side chalk line. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't get much closer than that. So 3:11.92 here for the One More Hoss tractor of Alan Moore. As Zach Bissett will be up next here with the Dirty Candy. We've got Robert Creech with the No Words tractor out of Benson, North Carolina, and then Dustin Bostic with the Melting Rods. Pretty cool name right there for a pulling tractor, Melting Rods. Hope we don't see any of that this afternoon, but so Zach Bissett here with the Dirty Candy out of Wilson, North Carolina, our next puller here in our Hot Farm competition as he brings out the John Deere.
Tobacco farming, right? That's what they do, exactly right, Paul.
So Dirty Candy, John Deere 4455.
That's right, sweet taters. That's why it's the Dirt Candy. I'm taking digging sweet taters.
All right, so going to put that sled right back in the middle of the track here.
If he gets a cigarette, he's probably down.
John Deere 4455. Wilson, North Carolina, Dirty Candy.
There you go.
All right, crewman pointed down the track. Says, hey, go get it. 329.01. Wyatt Pickler, the Game Changer, in that number 1 spot currently here. 9,500-pound Pro Farm tractors. Robert Creech up next with the No Words. This one's not over yet, fans. We've still got about half the class to go. Oh, a nice straight pass right here. This is going to be a good one. Got that front end up. And we hear the crowd approve behind us as Zach Bissett with the dirty candy. These John Deere's playing hardball here this afternoon in this Pro Farm class. As we see the helmet come off after his run. So 3:29.01 is what he's got to beat here. And we'll get the distance in here from the Laser crew. So here we see on the replay right down the center, and yeah, new leader, 3:30.56, 3:30.56 by just about a foot and a half here over the game changer John Deere. So Deere's sitting 1 and 2 right now. Their 9,500-pound Pro Farm class. So there we see our leaderboard updated here with the dirt candy up on top. We'll move the game changer down to number 2, and then the high-tech harvester in the number 3 spot here. So looks like hook position number 6 going to be Robert Creech with the No Words tractor as he makes his way out on the track here. So Benson, North Carolina, he calls home. Of course, Benson, the home of Galat Motorsports Park, hosting their big NTPA Grand National event early part of the season, usually the last part of May, early June. And looking for more great action here in North Carolina. Make sure you do make your way over to Galat Motorsports Park and check that Grand National event out. See the best competitors in the nation as they run for 2 evenings down there in Benson, Friday night and Saturday night. All right, so Robert Creech here and the No Words International 1066 here in our Pro Farm class here. Moving that sled over just a little bit more towards that right sideline here. Not much, but is it enough? We're going to find out. Oh, got the wheels up and snuffed her out here. For the tractor out of Benson, North Carolina, Robert Creech, No Words International, as he's going to come up short here this afternoon in our Pro Farm competition. So 3:12.99, the distance here, 3:12.99. For Robert Creech, as Dustin Bostic up next here with Melton Rods, and Clayton Sweeney will follow with the Barnstormer. Our next 2 tractors coming up. And then we will have Abby McDonald, if she can make it back here with the Revelation, next in our lineup here of 9,500-pound Pro Farm tractors here this afternoon at the North Carolina State Fair Region 4 event. Of course, this class not running under Region 4 rules, as this is a United Pullers of the Carolina class, a NTPA member state organization. So there we see our leaderboard. Top 3, no change.
I noticed they're sticking that sled in different spots now.
Okay, so they tell us Melting Rod's going to be a scratch this afternoon, not going to make it. So the Melting Rod's good, cool name, but not going to see it here this afternoon. as he was due out hook position number 7 here. So we'll move ahead here with Clayton Sweeney with the Barnstormer, our next tractor up here. And then Abby McDonald, and then Mark Ellington with the Smokin' Coyote. Our next couple tractors here in Pro Farm competition. Here we take a look at those 20-inch wide rear tires as the Barnstormer, Clayton Sweeney, Old Line Edition. See the 1026. A different model than we've seen in some of the classes. So Tracy's Landing, Maryland for the Barnstormer. Lone tractor in this class, not from North Carolina. So it looks like 5 tractors left to go here in our afternoon session here in Raleigh. And we will put a cap on it. Once again, we'll be back here 4 o'clock for the Countdown to Pull Time show as we get ready for tonight's big Session 3 show. As we're going to crown some champions on the NTPA Region 4 circuit here tonight. In our light pro class, as well as the mini rods, as we talked to Mary Kale earlier this afternoon, and she's right now in the catbird seat in that number 1 spot in the mini modified class. So we are ready to go here. Barnstormer got the slack out of the chain. Clayton Sweeney out of Maryland. Once again, that mark to beat 330.56, 330 and 56. Gears still 1 and 2. Oh, front end comes up. Oh, was heading towards that right-hand chalk line. And then the Barnstormer said, that's all I've got. So the Barnstormer tractor out of Maryland, Clayton Sweeney, going to come up short here. Our Pro Farm class. Once again, these tractors will be running tomorrow afternoon, our final session here in Raleigh.
Paperwork blowing everywhere. Thank you, folks, for sticking.
Of course, all the vehicles you see here this afternoon run season-long point standings. 3:14.16 is the distance here, 3:14 and 16. As I was saying, run for points. The points do go with the pulling vehicle, not with the puller. So that's why many times you do see multiple drivers driving one pulling vehicle, but the points, as long as the driver is registered and does have a competition license, the points will go to that pulling vehicle. So 3:14 and 16 for the Barnstormer, as we see right there. Gives up the ghost, puts him in that number 5 spot here in our 9,500-pound Pro Farm classes. We should have Abby McDonald with the Revelation. Going to drive the Revelation tractor out of Red Springs, North Carolina here this afternoon. Now, this was the tractor. They were down there trying to get this tractor fired up. We saw they put the battery charger on it. And we'll see if they're able to make it up to the starting line here. So once again, Zach Bissett with the Dirt Candy, our leader here at 3:35.6. Wyatt Pickler with the game changer number 2, and definitely not the Revelation tractor. So unfortunately looks like maybe not able to get that tractor up and going here. So we'll move ahead here with Mark Ellington with the Smoking Coyote. Mark out of Oxford, North Carolina here.
Brought it to Lumberton to the regional national, and it won't ride. So he took it home. He said, I'm going to be at the state fair with a tractor.
There we take a look at the 20-inch tires they run here on the Pro Farms. Smoking Coyote International 1066. Take a look at that. Wile E. Coyote got smoke coming out the nose. So DJ Stevens will follow here out of Goldsboro, North Carolina, and then Darian Sturdivant with the Cornfield Express. And then we've got Nathan Keiger. Remember, he was our tusk puller coming back with the Wishbone Reloaded. He turned down his run of 3:13 and change. So we've got the Smoking Coyote backed in here, just about dead center once again.
Takes the drillage in a little longer. Like I said, he's trying to get used to everything, making sure everything's just right, getting squared up to the
So Mark Ellington here out of Oxford, North Carolina.
I like the name, though. I got to figure out where that comes from. The Smoking Coyote.
So International 1066 here, Mark Ellington.
Here we go. Green light, green flag.
And we will send him on his way there as we see the green light on the sled. Tells us we're good to go. Track officials make sure everything clear, and they will put out the green flags. Smoking Coyote. Oh, tough break there. Just never brought up the RPMs there.
Like I say, he's learning. Trying to get everything figured out.
Trying to get that turbo going. Like we say, they run the 3-inch turbo on these tractors.
He doesn't get stuck a try.
So you see, got to keep the RPMs up to keep that turbocharger going. They work off the heat in the engine's exhaust, these turbos, and just revving them up really doesn't create too much heat. So you got to start slipping that clutch and put that engine under a load, and then the turbocharger as it come up, and then you have to have at least 100 pounds of boost to keep things up and going. Looks like we may have Bert down there trackside with a report here.
So Abby McDonald, she was up at the front part of the schedule here tonight or this afternoon, and she had to drop 6 places. Couldn't get the tractor started. Found out in the wiring harness, one of the ground wires came loose. When it did, that tractor, there was no power in the console, key switch, nothing. But they've got it fixed, so Abby's going to be coming up right after the Smoking Coyote. Back to you guys.
All right, so Abby McDonald, they got it sorted out here. Got that negative cable back hooked up to the tractor. They got some power, got her fired up. We see it sitting back there. So we will see the Revelation run here this afternoon, Red Springs, North Carolina. But first, we're going to give another shot here to Mark Ellington with the Smoking Coyote. His second and final attempt. Of course, each and every competitor has 2 attempts to make a measurable distance. If you don't get past that 100-foot mark, and as we can clearly see, didn't make it past that 100-foot mark, so we will send the Smoking Coyote. We'll give him one more shot here. Now, whether it's 1 inch or 350 feet, this is what's going to go down in the record book for him. So last shot here for the Smoking Coyote. slip in that clutch, but like you heard right there, just not able to get up on top of that turbocharger here this afternoon. So tough break there for Mark Ellington out of Oxford, North Carolina, as that will be it for the International 1066 here in our Pro Farm class. So Abby McDonald got that battery issue sorted out down there and will make her run here. DJ Stevens, Darian Sturdivant, and then Nathan Keiger, our last three competitors here. 157, 81, 157, and 81. Kind of disappointing distance there for Mark Ellington. And we'll put him back in the pack here. Number 8 spot right now for the Smoking Coyote. So there you can see our leaderboard. No change with our top contenders right now. 330.56. Zach Bissett with the Dirty Candy John Deere in that number 1 spot here. So Abby McDonald will make her way to the start line here. Red Springs, North Carolina, the Revelation. Of course, the McDonald family running in Super Farm competition. Saw them earlier this afternoon. Saw Caitlin and Dan McDonald out with the Red Mule and then the Bad Boy tractors. Well, now it's time for Abby to make her run here. The Revelation. Looks to be about a 7220, 7250. All right, 7250 model. International here for Abby McDonald. And just an update on the schedule for tomorrow. We are going to start an hour later. We started this afternoon, 12 o'clock. Tomorrow we're going to start at 1 o'clock for session number 4 here at the North Carolina State Fair, as we will put a lid on the weekend and crown some more champions in Region 4 competition here on the Pro Puller Tire Region 4 circuit here with the NTPA. All right, so let's see. Abby can get the job done here. We saw Brianna Beasley earlier in the class. Now it's Abby's turn. See if the ladies can keep the streak alive here. All right, so Abby McDonald, nice run here with her international 7250, and you can see right there on that shot, going to be a little bit short of taking over that number 1 spot, but going to be in the mix for sure here. Nice run here for Abby McDonald with the Revelation. So 323.53, 323 and 53. As that will take over the number 3 spot, she'll bump out Brianna Beasley for that number 3 spot here with a great run here. So good to see. Make her run here. Has had some issues with that tractor getting it fired up, but once they got the ground wire hooked back up, able to fire that tractor and make a nice run here. So as we can see, Revelation number 3 right now in our 9,500-pound Pro Farm class, 466 cubic inch class.
That's Andy Dutton's injury. Looks like they got some work to do.
So DJ Stevens, screwed up buck tractor. Another John Deere makes his way to the start line here. Darian Sturdivant with the Cornfield Express, and then back to the top of the class with Nathan Kiger, the Wishbone Reloaded.
One more deer, and 2 more international. 1 more deer, 2 more red.
All right, so this will be our final deer here in our hot Pro Farm class, not Hot Farm, Pro Farm.
In more than one place.
Goldsboro, North Carolina, with the John Deere 4455 screwed up buck.
You got DJ to come drive it. They're out of Goldsboro, North Carolina, and he named his tractor the Screwed Up Buck. With the screws, he's got this spinal cord holding him together. 1 more green tractor and 2 more red ones. Trying to take the lead.
All right, so just a couple more tractors left to go here for our Pro Farm class and our afternoon session here in Raleigh. So DJ Stevens. See if he can get this deer up there with the other couple deers we've got at the top of the class. Zach Bissett with the Dirty Candy John Deere is our leader. Oh, had some great momentum going with the tractor, and just like that, I think we're going to have a shakeup here in our top 5. Screwed up buck DJ Stevens. Nice straight run here in our Pro Farm class.
It catches them. Yeah, running that 3x3 turbo, that happens. For sure. It runs out of steam, doesn't it?
So we say DJ kind of looking around, and I'd have to say pretty happy with that run here this afternoon here for him, late in the class.
3:30.56 is the mark to beat. Zach, you bitch. Exactly right entry.
So as he pulls away here this afternoon here in our class. So 2 internationals will take us home here. We'll have the Cornfield Express up first, and then Wishbone Reloaded, our final tractor here. Once again, 6 o'clock start time tonight. We'll have the Light Pro tractors. We will have the mini modified tractors running 2-wheel drives. And we'll finish it off with the light 4-wheel drives, our final class of the evening. Once again, the modifieds that we saw run last night going to be moved into tomorrow afternoon session. So 3:21.76 the distance, 3:21.76 for DJ Stevens, as we'll put him right in that number 5 spot here.
That's right. Same reason he gets all the new cool stuff.
As we see here on the replay, get that front end up and on that run.
They tell everybody they're from Chapel Hill, but we know better. They're in Orange County. They in Orange.
Made his way down through there, as we'll put him in the number 5 spot here behind the high-tech harvester of Brianna Beasley, as we've got the Cornfield Express out on the track from up the road in Chapel Hill. Darian Sturdivant, as we saw their other tractor, the Red Iron Special, earlier in the class, go 3:17 and change. This is their second ride here in Pro Farm competition.
3.5 hours about as long as people won't sit around. That's right. That's exactly right. All right, out of White Cross, North Carolina, this is the Cornfield Express. Third of the family. Hunting down that second.
All right, International 1066, Cornfield Express. Darian Sturdivant. Oh, had some ground speed, some momentum going. And chokes her down. Cornfield Express.
To the 3:30 mark. Oh, here comes Jason. So close. Yet so very far away.
So our second to last tractor of the afternoon, the Cornfield Express, and this is going to be a good one. Yeah, 3:26.93, number 3 for Darian Sturdivant, the Cornfield Express. So it comes down to the Wishbone. Now the Wishbone Reloaded. Nathan Keiger, Nashville, North Carolina. I have to wonder, the Wishbone Reloaded kind of have something to do with Royce Bone used to run down here in North Carolina with the Wishbone tractor. So back to the top of the class here, Nathan Keiger, Nashville, North Carolina. The Wishbone Reloaded. Turned down his run of 3:13 early in the class and says, hey, we're coming back last and we'll see if we can get it done. So Darian Sturdivant with the Cornfield Express, our new number 3 tractor here, as we will finish things off for the afternoon here. A tractor that's already been down the track once here. And we'll start preparations for this evening's program. Once again, International 1066.
Got his grandson in it again. This is Nathan Keiger. Calls it the Wishbone Reloaded. Royce's tractor was called the Wishbone. Nathan is a professional skeet shooter. Been with 4-H clubs all over the country for championships and that sort of thing. So he said, I'm going to call my tractor the Wishbone Reloaded. He is a third-year engineering student at NC State University. Yes, sir.
All right, so the Wishbone Reloaded, International 1066. Nathan Keiger, student at NC State, pulling here in Pro Farm, our final tractor. Here we go. Oh, good run. And we'll see. Well, Nathan, he don't look happy in the seat of that tractor. But that will conclude our afternoon session here, fans, from Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll get the distance here for the Wishbone Reloaded and our top finishers here in our Pro Farm class. And what a great session of action we saw here today. As well, our streak is broke with that tractor right there. We saw our previous 3 classes. All the last hooks had taken the wins, but the pressure was on. The Wishbone Reloaded not going to be able to get the job done here. 3:12 and 14 as we'll finish up in that number 10 spot here tonight. And it looks like we've got Bert down trackside. He's got our winner.
Zachy, tough group of tractors here today. In fact, you said Nathan was the last hook. You said you had to dodge one more bullet. You won by about a half a foot. Congratulations on your win here at the NC State Fair.
Thank you. It's they did a great job on the track. Like to thank Full Pool. Like to thank you, Wicks Fielders, all these sponsors, Pro Puller Tires, my help. I can't do it without Van Hoy and David and the guy that builds the tractor. We got an awesome piece, and just feel honored to come out with a win on this group of tractors.
Well, you got one more left. You think you can pull off 2 in a row?
Well, I'm kind of chasing Cornfield. I gave me another spot. There's 7 spots between he and I, and if he can finish 7 spots behind me, no sweat. And that will be 7 championships in 4 years if we can pull it off.
Well, good luck tomorrow. 1 hook left to take take the championship here with the United Pullers of the Carolinas.
Thank you, Bert. Thanks for everything you do. You're a great guy. Thanks for Justin and all the guys we pull with. They're a great group of guys. Even Mr. Pickler there. Yeah, he was right behind me. And Mr. McDonald, great group of guys to pull with. Tough class.
Congratulations, my friend.
Great group of guys to pull with. Can't ask for any better.
All right. Back to you guys. We're going to be getting ready for that 6 o'clock show. Thank you, Zachy. And I'm going to sign off here. We're going to go back to pulling here tonight at 6 o'clock. Don't forget, countdown to pull time is going to be here in just a little bit. Back to you guys.
All right, so Zachy Bissett takes home the big win here this afternoon with the Dirt Candy. As once again, Dan Mayer back in the Full Pull Live studios, and we will see you back here at 4 o'clock for the Countdown to Pull Time show, and then our 6 o'clock start time for session number 3 here at the North Carolina State Fair. So that will do it for this afternoon's pulling competition, and we will see you back here, like I say, at 4 o'clock for the Countdown show, and then session 3 at 6 o'clock. So we'll see you just a couple hours, fans.